When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are here in the Door to Door Racing League for our penultimate race of the season tonight at Martinsville. We have 13 drivers and all of your top 8 in the playoffs, and they are ready to conquer this half-mile paperclip to try to advance to the finale. My name is Sky Shrek. I'm joined up in the booth tonight by Howie Burrows and Christian Hill, and we're excited for what should be a great race around Martinsville. This track always produces its fair share of chaos. Tell us a little bit about Howie before we get into the starting grid tonight.
It feels like a diabolical place to put the end of a regular season, but maybe that's why it's here. Martinsville is the home of close quarters contact and moving others out of the way to get anything done. The very, very flat, short track pretty much rewards a lot of long-term consistency, but I really struggle in the next gen around there getting this car turned into and through the corners with its differential. Very often, you're not going to get past people easily. You're going to have to make it happen or force some big errors.
Yeah, this track is notoriously difficult, and in this next-gen car, like you said, it can be a little bit difficult to wheel this thing around here, so these drivers are really going to need to conserve what they have over the course of our 325 laps tonight if they want a chance to not only win, but advance to our final race next week at Phoenix. That'll be the championship for drivers who are in that one, and right now, in your points, Trevor Baxter is a big lead, but the issue with Trevor Baxter is he will not be running the final race of our season at Phoenix. So we're not sure if they're going to throw another car in there or if they'll just make it a 3-car finale, but Trevor Baxter, we will not see him at Phoenix. Alan Duggar sits second, Hugh Brown, Daniel Best, third and fourth, and then William Lark, Nate Pollard, Stephen Bird, Danny Carpenter are the rest of your top 8, and some of those cars like Lark and Pollard are going to try to jump their way up into the field tonight as the field grids up for our race at Martinsville. We're going to get a look at the starting grid here in just a second, but one of those drivers we mentioned is on the front row. Nate Pollard is going to roll off second tonight. The 17 car of Thomas Freeman is going to start from the pole. Not a driver that we typically see up on the front row, but Thomas Freeman, with a good qualifying effort, is going to get a good chance to get a result here tonight. I believe, I'm going to check on this right now, that is Thomas Freeman's first pole of the season. Daniel Best will go from third, Alan Duggar from fourth, Colt Huff fifth, Hugh Brown sixth, Stephen Bird and William Lark make up row 4, and then the 00 is going to display Hick on the timing tower. That is Michael Reeves in the 00 car. We fixed that for this week. Awesome. Michael Reeves will be in the 00. He'll roll off P9. His in-game name is Hick. Joshua Switzer rolls off 10th in the 6th, and then your last 2 cars on the field tonight are Danny Carpenter in the 28 and James Nesta in the 29. Ridding about to finish here. Howie, what are your keys to surviving 325 laps at the paperclip?
Consistency, you could say, is key absolutely everywhere, but I think it's very easy to get driven absolutely insane by doing laps on this. Make a tiny mistake, touch the curb and go flying. Go a little bit too wide and give up that space on the inside. It's such a race where, because you have to hit that brake pedal so much and keep that car slowed so much, stop it from locking so much, you just need to concentrate, really. I mean, you've got half a mile to get it done over 300 times. Bless anyone that's done this in an official this week, or in an MX-5, in which I made 150 laps. This is going to be a long one, and we don't have many drivers on the grid, so I do expect good green runs here, and that just might make it even more tiring.
Looking at your race analysis, stages will come on lap 81 and lap 162, so 1/4 and 1/2 tonight. 75% fuel load. That will maybe get them to the end of stage 1. I believe it will. We'll have to see how that plays out. 7 tire sets available back in the pits, plus 1 on the car, and a green-white checkered available if we need it here tonight. Another thing to note is that the incident count DQ limit is 39x. We are not expecting anyone to hit that, but there is always a possibility that someone will rack up 39 incidents at Martinsville. If you ran an MX-5, you might have racked up about 70 incidents just from the way that that race worked. So we'll see if any drivers come close to that tonight, although we're not really expecting anyone to hit that. Track temperature tonight, 81 degrees. It's a pretty sunny day at Martinsville, but we're finally starting to head into fall, October 26th, and the temperature, air temperature here in Virginia is not that high. So it's going to be a pretty cool track here today. As the pace car pulls in turn 3, it's Freeman on the front row. We're green and we're wrecking already. We are no longer green at Martinsville, as looks like a couple cars are around. Stephen Bird, the foremost of them.
Well, what's so hard about getting a car launched around it? It was a big checkup behind the 5 car that started all of that, and once one car goes to the back of the other, into the back of the other, that was a bit of a chain reaction. These cars are hopefully pretty strong and can take impacts like that without ruining their race. I've seen many a thing like this happen at Martinsville, to be totally honest. Just one error slip up and it all goes wrong.
Yeah, and stuff can really chain reaction at Martinsville. This just tends to happen at this track with drivers so tight together and the track just being really narrow. This really starts with Freeman. He doesn't get going. It checks up back to the 5, checks up back to Colt Huff in the 08. And then you see a couple cars, Hugh Brown pretty heavily involved, Stephen Bird getting in it as well. The good news here with hits like that at Martinsville is that this track is so slow that you don't really take a lot of damage if you just have a spin and a little bit of a hit to the wall. Those drivers who took that damage will likely be able to fix it. The problem is going to be the laps are so short here, you don't really have a lot of time to actually get that damage fixed before the rest of the field comes around to put you a lap down. So this is going to be kind of interesting to see how this all shakes out. I'm noticing that we are having some pace car issues, and that the entire field has thought they were behind the pace car and then now have to be back ahead of the pace car, and it's a whole deal with how early this caution came out. You'll see it on the replay here. There goes that 80 car, and it just kind of dominoes from there.
Sounds like an iRacing pace car situation to me. I mean, when have you ever got the construction from that? Not really much of a race to talk about so far, but we're going to be getting that double file restart laps behind the lead lap cars. Yes, indeed, we are going to be basically starting this race like that never happened. We're going to pretend that didn't happen and just say we chopped about 4 or 5 laps off the race here. If it happens again, I think that might be a cause for concern. But otherwise, if you ended up back early on, you're probably going to be able to make it back in good time. There's going to be more cautions, there's going to be more chances. Track position pretty important, but it's strangely early to throw that.
Yeah, early caution here is going to shake things up, but it is still going to be the same cars on the front row. Pace car is going to pull in right there at a 3, and then Thomas Freeman, Nate Pollard, Alan Duggar, and Daniel Best are going to work their way through 3 and 4. Let's try this again. It's Freeman and Pollard, and we're back green on lap 6 at Martinsville. And oh, never mind. There goes Thomas Freeman. Caution is back out.
I believe you start the car in 2nd gear and you go slowly on the gas until the car is revved. So I have to see the gears on board to see what quite went wrong there, but I mean, even though the gear stack is a little bit crazy on this car, at the same time, you should have some practice at least getting off the line. Don't be too eager. Here we go on the replay. I think this might have just been too much power from the 17.
Yeah, we'll see it here. He's already kind of moving to the right as soon as he gets going, and there it goes. Doesn't even make it back to the start-finish line before he is heavily damaged into that outside wall. Your pole sitter with a pretty big mistake here early on in this race that's going to set him way back. Should I just stop calling the green flags? Because I haven't even gotten to complete my call twice in a row before the cautions come out.
I can confirm he did start in second, so step 1 was done, but a little bit eager on the loud pedal was going to send him right to the back as he runs into pit lanes for repairs. We're seeing some damage on some of these next gens already. A little bit of dents, these things obviously don't deform like crazy, but we are more than I expect for, you know, this many laps around it. Look, eventually, you know, the definition of getting a good restart, it's repeatedly doing it until the result actually does change. So it will. Danny Carpenter 2 down, taking very, very serious repairs here, and he might have to go even more.
I'm noticing that we are 9 laps into this race, all of which have been under caution. We already have 7 drivers down pit road, most of them to fix damage, which is not exactly a great sign here for our attrition in this race. Danny Carpenter has already gone 3 laps down. He's still in the pits trying to get that 28 car fixed. Thomas Freeman is a lap down, so it's been 8 laps, and we have 10 cars on the lead lap here. Hugh Brown has been in the pits for a while. He's trying to get that car fixed up. He might go a lap down here if he's not careful. I think Hugh Brown will be able to get that car out in time. The pace speed is so low here that we're seeing cars actually go a little bit quicker on pit road if they play their cards right, which is helping. Oh, it was a meatball flag for Danny Carpenter in the 28 in that incident. We saw him get hit. Didn't realize he took that much damage to that car, but he did, and that is going to end his chances of winning this race because he has a lot of damage to fix on that right front, and he's already 4 laps down, and we're not even back green yet. Let's try this again. New front row. Daniel Best, Nate Pollard with a punched-in nose. Who's going to get the better jump? We'll find out. Green flag back in the air here in Martinsville. Hey, I finished my sentence that time.
I mean, wait until the end of the lap, Sky.
We are going to go side by side for P2 here. You've got Daniel Best on the outside, and he is immediately passed by Alan Duggar in the 15 around the bottom. Joshua Switzer. Oh, there goes James Nesta. No caution, no caution, caution.
There it is.
And oh, there goes Daniel Best after the yellows already came out. We're wrecking in turn 1. Big hit. Michael Reeves in the 0-0.
So I said something about there only being 12 cars and the odds of back-to-back cautions being unlikely, and I should probably just not speak again. Yeah, the Daniel Best self-spins in the turn, stuck in the middle of the track, goes head-on with another car though, and we're doing this again. It's meant to be 1 hour 40 of green flag laps, but we hasn't still yet to cross the finish line. Green. So that's great news.
We'll see James Nesta here first in this 29 car, and I think he just kind of got out of shape off the corner, lost it all on his own. He was running pretty far up the field, and yep, just spins it out into the inside wall. Daniel Best also just a self-spin. He was trying to get himself out ahead of that inside car down there of Joshua Switzer and just went a little too much into the corner, slid all the way back up the road. And there was contact, pretty decent contact with both William Clark and Michael Reeves as a result of that. You'll see the onboard here. There's that contact with the 14. The 10 gets into him there, and then the 0-0 right there.
Nasty head-on contact.
Yeah.
You don't get that very often in NASCAR, but this is one of those tracks where it's more likely than others because it's quite hard to slow down enough in the turn, even for a car that you might know is sort of coming up. Here's the onboard with Michael Reeves. We'll be able to take a look at how he approaches that. Easy to avoid that car on the bottom, but it probably wouldn't have been the worst thing in the world if that was the only cause of caution. But the car is hard to slow down. Oh, there probably was a bit of a chance to try and react to that, but unfortunately we had more wrecked race cars instead, so someone's going to be footing the bill.
I am very interested in seeing at the end of this race how many pit stops have been taken, because we're on lap 15 right now. We have 12 cars in the race, and so far I am seeing 1, 3, 6, 9, 12, 17 pit stops in these 15 laps. So Ideally, that pace will go down over the course of the race as we get some green flag runs in and drivers don't have to come down every single time to try to get this damage fixed on these cars. We will see how that works. We'll go for take 4 at a green flag lap on lap 16 with yet another new look front row up here as Nate Pollard has had to pit for some damage repair. He's dropped down to P7. Alan Duggar and Joshua Switzer will be the 2 cars up on the front row, and we're nearly making contact coming to green there between these 2. We'll head out of turn 4. Duggar is going to be the control car. He gets the jump. We're back green at Martinsville, and that's a huge jump. Switzer does not get going, and neither does Nesta back there in 4th.
Taking the outside there on a Martinsville restart, but I guess something in his mind told him he'd get grip coming out the corner. Daniel Best a little more to the inside as Switzer washes up high. We could cross the stripe here today, making a lap here in the books here at Martinsville.
We're getting some battles a little further back as these cars are in single file up front. Here comes Nate Pollard. He's got that nose damage a little bit fixed. He's trying to move his way through the field. He's going to bump James Nesta in the 29 there. Neither car ends up worse off. Pollard is going to lose a little bit of time there as he kind of washed up the track mid-corner, but he's going for the bumper of that 29 car. He's got Stephen Bird all over him just outside the top 5 as you see everybody running a line here except for Danny Carpenter, who is many, many laps down and might end up out of the race trying to fix that damage. Switzer hot on the tail of Alan Duggar back up front. He does not seem to be able to make the move going. Daniel Best is trying to go a little higher to create more of a run out of the corner, but it doesn't seem to be working for that 5 car, who also has a punched-in nose on that machine.
Switzer seems to be struggling to perfectly hit the bottom of that fight. If Best behind him ends up running faster, get him taken advantage of. Right now, Best sort of running a little bit higher. That's going to give up the space here to Lark on the inside. Backs out of it in the meantime.
Oh, there goes Nesta. Loose in the middle of the corner, and he is around. Caution.
Well, we made it a little bit green.
Yeah, we did. There goes James Nesta, and we are going to have a couple other cars involved in this as well. Looks like, I don't think anybody, well, Nate Pollard hit him pretty decently there as he was going back around, and then you saw a couple cars who were just slow. Stephen Bird took a little bit of contact there as he was trying to get himself back going.
We're now starting to genuinely look at a competition to see whether the pace car ends up leading the most laps this race. I'm going to find out by the end of this. We'll get the maths together. We'll look at the results. I mean, a lot of it is these Cup cars, though. James Nesta not really unsettled by anyone along the way, and those 2 drivers along the outside just sort of like freight trained in the meantime, just waiting behind. I mean, gotta hold the brakes on the way down the track. Big problem is this car does like to snap on exit, but it's a little bit too much power. It's a really, really challenging one. I've tried all of the cars around the track this week, and this was the one I couldn't get. I didn't spin it, but I could just tell it really didn't comply in ways you expected unless you were really good in it, because they're not really built to stop and turn like this.
Yeah, we're going to keep working under caution here, and we will have some more cars down into the pits. Nate Pollard, James Nesta both in as well. And we're, a lot of pit stops here early on in this race for basically everybody.
I remember there was this iconic story of someone a few years ago in NIS who decided to make 100 pit stops here, or something like hundreds of 200 pit stops here at Martinsville, and still finish the race. You know, it's surprising the level of cautions we're seeing. I think a lot of it is just mistakes, though. It's not like the oafishness of the NIS lobby that just sort of makes it an ego battle going into the corner. I wouldn't say anyone has done anything like egregiously aggressive to another driver, which you wouldn't want to do on the first few laps of Martinsville anyway. But a lot of it's just been people that need to spend some more time on the track right now and make sure they can get their laps in, because every time someone spins, it does seem to be messing up someone else's day. So So 1 to green here on the track, and this time it seems like a constant shift of who gets to lead. Alan Duggar will be leading on the front row alongside Joshua Switzer. You better get good at restarts, because we've seen that 1 or 2 drivers not be able to get off the line, but if you can't do that consistently, then you might have to do it quite a few more times over the course of the race. Maybe Sky has some curse and aversion to a green flag start going away, so I'm going to make the call this time, as we are green again at Martinsville. Duggar away. Best, I think, is going to go to the inside here of Switzer. And quite a few wide there. Some drivers running very, very wide and not getting the entry to the corner they want. Best now already making contact, trying to move Switzer up the track. And he might just get away with it. Still side by side. Dirty Air is going to be absolutely key. Switzer a lot faster on the brakes. Still on that better paved surface. And that actually might cause him to get away with it. Better momentum. Best tries it up again. Actually checks up the pack behind. That's Colt Huff. Slowed down, and William Locke sent all the way to the top. Alan Doug's enjoying getting away, as I think a lot of the field has started to return to single file action now. Further near the back, though, Hugh Brown and James Nestor sort of battling each other out.
Yeah, we're continuing to make laps here as battles continue to go around the racetrack right now from Martinsville. First little bit of this run that we've had green here, and oh, James Nesta is around yet again on the front straightaway. This is not a good race for that 29 car.
Almost got away with it. Almost got away with that under green, and then passed by one of those meddling cars that chooses to get in the way. And once the sort of lap cars come around, it was actually Thomas Freeman, one of the cars that lapped, I think. And then once that happens, it's the reset of the field again. It's that snap-on exit. Not the first time he's done that.
Yeah, he has really had some problems getting loose on exit. Really all race now, and that is, it's just not ideal for him, considering he's been the cause of multiple of these first few cautions. He just needs to take it a little easier on exit to kind of not have that happen.
And you're going to have to do it at least 300 more times. So now it's sort of put up or shut up time, I think, when it comes to getting out on the track. I think we might see the pace car lead this race when all is said and done at the current rate of things. We have our 2 stage cautions, of course, as well. So those are 2 more guaranteed times. Thankfully, cautions are short at Martinsville. You don't know the joy of a Talladega caution, Sky. You love the joy of a Talladega. You're there for like an entire lifetime. At least here, we do get back to green pretty quickly, which suits how often we're going to see them.
Yeah, it's a good point. I feel like the cautions here are shorter than about 1 lap of a Talladega caution. They do go by quick, so you get a chance to run more of these green flag laps here tonight as we continue to make some caution laps, and we'll get going back green here in just a second. I'm going to update the pit stop counter here. We are sitting at 26 pit stops in 23 laps here. Some drivers like Michael Reeves have already made 5 pit stops in this race, just trying to fix damage while also staying on the lead lap, which can be really, really difficult here with how quick the pace laps go.
That number feels like you made it up, but I can also see like there's a way that makes sense.
It's 100% real.
Oh, top 3 haven't stopped at all.
Michael Reeves has just come in for number 6, by the way.
He is doing the thing that Bottom Split did in NIS.
We'll see how many Michael Reeves makes, because I'm invested in this now. We're at 6 pit stops in 34 laps as these cars continue to just have to fix damage, and it really becomes a problem when you have like multiple minutes of damage on this car and you've only got like 20 seconds under caution to actually get any of it ironed out. It can lead to you having to make a lot of pit stops. We'll do another restart here. It's going to be Alan Duggar. It's going to be Joshua Switzer on the front row as the pace car pulls in, and we'll see if we can get some good green flag racing in here. The flag will fly down the front straightaway. We're back green. Oh, already getting close there. Oh, 5 more wide as the 5 car is in the middle. It's Daniel Best. That was almost a disaster. William Lark all the way out of the groove, and now Nate Pollard is dropping back through the field. That car is slow back there And actually, that's Thomas Freeman, or excuse me, that's Michael Reeves. He is running the bottom split strategy. He has just come back into the pit lane for the 7th time. He has a black flag on that car, presumably maybe a speeding penalty from the last time he was in. Back up front, this is the 08 of Colt Huff. He's gotten that thing up to 2nd. And now we're racing back for 3rd as we've got Joshua Switzer on the outside, Daniel Best on the inside, and Best is going to prevail here in this 5 car because he's got that inside lane. Can he get clear? Yes. Here comes Hugh Brown into the fight in the 35.
Switzer's been doing nothing but losing for a few laps now, and if you're forced up high on Talladega, that indeed is somewhere very, very different. If you're forced up high on Martinsville, you're not getting back down. You're not getting back down anytime soon. As you know, we can easily compare the longest track and the shortest track in NASCAR. This time, Michael Reeves out of the pit lane without a black flag, so that likely was an infraction in the pit road. I have to be careful because I might have to clear some nonsense that comes out, so I need to keep my head on the swivel. Colt Huff and Alan Duggar kind of running away with it right now. It's very hard to get past people in this car with all the dirty air around these tracks, though, and it will eventually lead to a little bit of impatience.
Yeah, these cars have really been going at it pretty much all night long, and I think that's contributed to some of the cautions that we've seen tonight as these drivers continue to do battle. Alan Duggar holding the lead right now in this 15 car, although Colt Huff is coming. Trevor Baxter out of the race for the rest of the season. Alan Duggar really seems to be the guy who's going to be the favorite. Won at the Roval a few weeks ago, 2nd in Vegas, 5th at Talladega just last week. But before that finish at Talladega, he had a run of 6 races finishing inside the top 2. Alan Duggar knows how to get results here. He's going to try to get one right now as Daniel Best is now under threat from Hugh Brown in the 35. He's made a move up to the inside, looking for that final spot on the podium here down the front straightaway. The 5 is way up the racetrack. He'll lose 4th or 3rd. He might lose 4th as well because here comes Josh Switzer into the fight.
Feels like you don't just lose one place around really here, even with this many cars. The pack stays so close and you are just immediately under threat. The moment you drop one place, it's like the whole shark tank just closes in. But Switzer, I mean, I thought he was struggling to hold the bottom earlier. He continues to struggle to hold it, and this time that means William Lark's going to want to move his way in. Doesn't have the run yet, but if you get known as that driver that leads and leaves enough space at Martinsville, it will get taken from you, whether you ask for it or not. I'm close. I think Colt Huff's getting on the close side to Alan Duggar, although he's sort of within now that quarter of a second window where nothing really gets done.
Yeah, there's a pretty decent gap from 2nd back to 3rd here. Colt Huff has 1 second opened up between him and Hugh Brown, and then there's pretty decent gap between Hugh Brown and Daniel Best back there as well, 1.8 seconds. I said 5 car, feels like he's kind of holding up the line. Daniel Best is struggling. He was half a second off Huff and Brown that last time around. And Joshua Switzer is going to look to find a way around that car, or else he could just keep losing time, and that can be a problem at Martinsville, as it does not take a lot of green flag running for people to start getting lapped.
And it's a very strange track when it comes to your relationship with your tyres. Of course, you could wear them out and destroy them, but you just do it so differently than the other tracks. It's about overcompeting to turns and locking up. And
like Switzer did right there.
And it's so easy to lock up the tyres in the next gen on this track, way easier than it is in other cars. Here, Switzer, though, doesn't look like he's struggling still. That's William Lark now.
That's the 10 up to the inside of him, and then they're side by side behind him, as well as Nate Pollard gets around Stephen Bird. So this is 2 birds trying to get past right now, as Lark continues to hold that inside lane. But the 6 car is doing a decent job to hold him down and fight back around the outside, really taking away his ability to exit the corner and extending this battle for as long as possible. But extending it is really the main key of what you're doing here, because it can be really difficult to make these runs on the outside actually work for position unless the 10 just gets loose and has a really rough corner exit, which might happen here. He's a little loose off the corner there, and that'll give Switzer what he needs. He's well clear back up in the P5, and now he will once again try to pursue Daniel Best, who is struggling in that 5 car and has dropped almost 4 seconds off Hugh Brown.
Really surprised here that the the 10 just couldn't get it done. In fact, Switzer's on the rebound, but if you show your nose that early, I was going to say it might not be given the space, but he was given the space. Almost contact with Daniel Best up there, not quite going to happen. Now, almost bumping into on the outside, checking up so hard the line that Lark's actually going to lose out to Nate.
Oh, there goes
behind. And there's the slide.
We're going to keep it green. Nope, there goes the caution. Lap 52, and the yellow flies for the 6 of Joshua Switzer, who is just trying to get a little too much off the corner.
Feels like the least bad caution, because this does feel like a driver that was really under pressure, really being challenged by both ends. That mistake is eventually going to happen, and it's going to bite you. You sort of checked up into the car ahead, and the car behind also checked up. Does seem to always be happening out of 3 and 4, and not 1 and 2, though.
Yeah, I think maybe cars are just trying to get that better run out to the start-finish line. There goes the 6. This was actually a pretty decent save by Switzer here. The issue is the caution flew while he was still getting that thing saved, and he wasn't able to really reap the benefits of it. But a pretty nice job to not hit anything, not spin it into any walls there. Probably going to have to use a set of tires here. It's basically everyone except Alan Duggar is going to come into the pits.
75% feels someone's car just blew up.
You are right. Is that Danny Carpenter?
If it's Danny Carpenter,
it is Danny Carpenter.
False alarm. Okay, the right front of that car was being wrecked for a while, and someone left the engine on for a bit too much, and nobody's home.
Yeah, he has been in the pits for 21 minutes, so he is done for the night, and the engine exploding is going to make him extra done for the night. As we get a full round of pit stops here, you get a couple cars like Best and Nesta who are still in the pits for a while, just trying to maximize damage fixed. Michael Reeves has come in for stop number 8 on the day. He's 3 laps down, and he is really just trying to do anything he can to get the damage off that car. Nate Pollard stayed out on that last caution. Alan Duggar did as well. Alan Duggar has not changed tires since the start of this race. Nate Pollard is on 23 lap old tires, I believe. So we'll see how this all shakes out. But with the cooler track temp today, you're not going to see quite as much tire wear as you might expect in Martinsville.
All right, pop quiz, Sky. I have the data, and I think you don't. This is a joy of being race control. What's the lowest incident count?
Can I go with Alan Duggar with 0?
Actually does have 0 incidents. It's the only one on the track.
Dang.
Everybody else has at least 2. Switzer's got 2. Everyone else has at least 4. Daniel Best on 12 still out here on the track. There's a very high incident limit, by the way, something like 37.
Yeah, it's 39 here tonight. So if we see any cars at that 39 limit, that is going to be mildly concerning for the rest of the field here tonight as we get ready to get back going, and it'll be a brand new front row. Alan Duggar's still going to be the control car. He'll take the inside this time. They'll have Nate Pollard to the outside. Both of these cars are on old tires. Can they hold on? We'll find out. Green flag flies at Martinsville.
I mean, talk about leaving.
Black flag, Daniel Best.
Trying to work out what that might have been. That might have been a bit of a spurious passing of the yellow, so I might need to deal with that.
Battling up front here, we had a car way up on the outside there, losing time. That's the 08 of Colt Huff dropping through the field. He got passed by Hugh Brown. He's now under threat from the 10 of William Lark. And they'll go side by side for P4 as they make their way out of the corner. Big send from Hugh Brown, and he's going to lose it in turn 3. Caution flies, and a pretty decent hit for Stephen Bird there as well.
Another one, another one, another one. And Christian Hill is enjoying the use of that graphic. Let me tell you this, it came cooked better than ever for today's stream.
Can I sponsor that graphic? Is it too late? Might get some use out of that here before the end of the stream, just off how much we've had so far. We're going to get another round of cars in pit road with the 2 drivers that we are really watching in regards to pit road strategy. Pollard and Duggar have both stayed out once again, and they will continue on their older tires that are holding up pretty well, only because they haven't really got a chance to actually drive on them here. You're going to see the Hugh Brown move. He makes a huge send to the inside of the 16 of Nate Pollard, and he just cannot get it locked up. and locked down, and he is going to slide right across his nose and sideways.
That fragile sticker on the front of the car really saying a lot about what's going on right now. Is this where my UPS package goes before it ends up to my house? Is this why it comes damaged and beaten? So I'll wait to ask them some questions. This is my driver.
Hey, Nate Pollard's come into the pits here, so he is going to make that pit stop. He is going to get new tires on. He did pit a lap later than everybody else, so he will come out last, but he has made that pit stop. And now it is just Alan Duggar on 61 lap old tires still hanging out, and he's not going to have that extra buffer car with him. William Lark, who is currently sitting second, is going to challenge for the lead of this race here pretty quickly.
A total of 82 incidents have hit the track before we've even finished the first stage, and it's almost over. Lap 81 we'll be doing our first, our first mandatory caution, maybe our next caution. If there's a merciful God, our next caution. But only a couple drivers a lap down. Freeman would have gotten it back, but I think he's in the pit lane. And then one more, who I need to always try and keep getting the name right of, Michael Reeves, 3 down on the pack.
Would like to update our pit stop counter. We are at 42 pit stops on the race. The most is 8 for Michael Reeves. The least is 0 for Alan Duggar. He has made 0. Switzer has made 1. Everybody else has made at least multiple stops here tonight. As we get ready to go back green once again, it's Duggar on old tires, it's Lark on new tires, and we are back green at Martinsville, and we're stacking it up already.
I'll just say the start I called was the one that went the best, guy, so think about it.
Yeah. You might be right on that. Maybe you can curse my audio so it completely breaks down again. William Lark is trying to get pressured here from Colt Huff in the 08, who is going after him. He's got the 6 of Switzer behind him as well, recovering from some incidents and driving his way straight back up through the field to try and make a move happen. Everybody wants to challenge Alan Duggar here on these older tires for the win of the stage, and they are hoping for a little bit of a green flag run to actually allow them to do so, although that was a maneuver right there from Switzer, and James Nesta is around on the front straightaway.
Are we going to get away with this? I think
we are.
He is not slow enough when passed by the field, so that's usually the trigger for the yellow, and instead James Nesta's going to get that car moving, may go a lap down if this run continues. More sliding from Lark. There was a big gap behind him, and that's turned into Hugh Brown's for the taking, and would you believe it, Switzer's right back in this.
That was a bad one for William Lark. He scraped the wall pretty good there. Wouldn't be surprised if he's got some damage on that car, and these maneuvers have opened up a 3.5-second gap between Colt Huff sitting in P2 and Hugh Brown back in P3, who has already recovered from that incident to get back onto the podium here. Just kind of because of how this race is. Stephen Bird to the inside of the multiple lap down Michael Reeves car, and then you've got Daniel Besch trying to make that move through as well back there. As Joshua Switzer remains in 4th, Nate Pollard remains in 6th. These 4 cars in a line are your closest battle on the racetrack at the moment. Oh, and the 10 of Lark is way up there. He'll drop to 6. Nate Pollard will get through, and Lark is going to be under threat from Stephen Bird in the Battle of the Birds.
This goes back to what I say when I talk about concentration on the track. Every NASCAR track requires concentration, but it's a different kind here because it's a braking marker. If you get it, you make it round the turn, but if you miss it, you fly somewhere just so wide on the turn that it's all over. And that line changes as your tyres adapt over the race, of course. So it's just so difficult to just get so many laps together. I struggle with 70 in a fixed racing. We just hit 70, so congratulations, not even close to done.
Yeah, we are going towards the end of stage 1 here. We've only got about 11 laps to go before we finish off our first stage of the night, and we get to give out some stage points. Stage points will be given out to every driver in the field except for Michael Reeves, and the caution has flown for James Nesta backwards in turn 1 and turn 3.
Not the first time. This, from my perspective, we'll get the angle, but from my perspective, it's a brake lock on entry.
Yeah, he just kind of lost it.
One thing James' cautions are doing is not really inconveniencing others, although I must say he did pull off the nearest near miss I've seen at Martinsville. So that's certainly one achievement. There's some Tokyo drift going on around that corner. Car not damaged either, but not a good day. At one point someone is going to decide I've had enough today, you know?
I think right now Danny Carpenter is thinking, thank God I was taken out on the second caution and not the 12th one, because he has probably got some Netflix up. He's watching a good movie right now. 29 car of James Nesta. Well, it starts with the 6th there. Oh, this is the first one. This is from earlier on in the run where Nesta almost looped it, and well, he did loop it. We just didn't have any caution for that one. And then there was the second one where Nesta did end up causing the caution, where he heads down into turn 1 and 2 and makes it out okay, and then it all kind of goes bad for him as he enters turn 3. You'll see him right here. There she goes.
Watch the near miss. Horror!
Oh,
Horror!
that was a jump scare.
That was Freeman. Thomas Freeman. I can confirm myself. On the inside, almost, with the contact to the center. Let's take a look at the roll bar in this one.
And Nesta has DNF'd. He is done for the night.
I would feel the same way. I mean, it's not been a fun day, and
No.
Martinsville isn't particularly easy.
Whew.
Nailed it.
How about that?
Never tell me the odds.
Doesn't get much closer than that, does it? We are going to have 8-ish cars on the lead lap here. Hugh Brown is a lap down. James Nesta is out. Michael Reeves is 3 down. Danny Carpenter is out. Thomas Turner, I think he's just trying to get some residual damage fixed. He's been into the pits about 7 times tonight, so I think this is just kind of an extension of his time in the pit lane, and he will drive it back out, and he will continue on. I would do a pit stop update, but we still have multiple cars in the pit lane here, so we are going to...
Think about the fuel strategy wins you get if you stop in the pits this many times.
I mean, yeah, we are at, just counting here, about 48 pit stops tonight in 75 laps, so we are getting up there as it's Alan Duggar and Colt Huff on the front row. It'll be a 6-lap run to the end of stage 1. Who's going to get the stage points? We'll find out here. Green flag is back out at Martinsville.
This time it's Huff out there that catches the middle. Very predictably, Duggar getting every launch he wants. There's going to be the battle behind between Pollard, who's running the best he's been running over the course of this race, and Switzer, who's perpetually been in around 4th.
Yeah, Alan Duggar has really been the dominant car here tonight. Colt Huff has been up and down the field, but he's really been the main challenger of stage 1. He's had his fair share of moments, but he's driving pretty well, up from 5 to 2 on the night. As your pole sitter, Thomas Freeman has run into quite a bit of trouble tonight and has just kind of slid back through the field as we've gone over the course of this race. 3.5 to go in the stage. What can Colt Huff do? What can Nate Pollard do? Pollard needs all the stage points he can get if he is going to try to sneak his way into the next round.
This is probably a game of stay in line and try not to explode, in my opinion. Only a couple of laps to go in the stage. I mean, next caution will cause it anyway, so maybe that's your excuse to go crazy, actually. Next caution's going to cause the stage anyway. Might as well be the impetus. I like to Finnish drivers know a little bit better than that.
We are at 2 to go in the stage here. Colt Huff on Alan Duggar. Will he finally make the move? He's been trying to set up for a while. He's close enough to be in punting range, but he does not seem particularly inclined to do so yet. As he backs off, he's now going to look a little bit to the inside as we're at the white flag in stage 1. Colt Huff on the bumper of Duggar gives him a shot, but Huff gets more loose than Duggar does. The 15 car pulls away, and now Colt Huff is under threat from Nate Pollard for second in stage 1. The 16 puts a dive in. He needs everything he can get if he wants any chance at advancing, but it's going to be Colt Huff at the line.
Your driver's just a fair bit back, so this one comes a bit late, but I did my job, indeed. Alan Duggar takes the very, very convincing stage win over the line, and perhaps the only driver whose position hasn't quite been in disrepute today so far. I think he could be in for an amazing, amazing rest of the day.
We are going to take a quick Commercial break here, a quick side-by-side break on Maconi Entertainment, and when we come back, we will have Stage 2. Stay tuned.
To be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are back here from the Door Racing League at Martinsville. We're getting ready for the start of Stage 2. Alan Duggar brought it down pit road along with most of the field, but Lark, Pollard, and Huff stayed out, and it'll be Huff and Pollard on the front row here on lap 87 as we are green on Stage 2. Battle's going on right now for the front of the field. Alan Duggar is trying to make his way for third around the outside of that 10 car, William Lark, and he will get that spot. Nate Pollard, Colt Huff both in this battle as well. 1 and 2. Colt Huff, really the first car to break Alan Duggar's dominance so far tonight, even if it is on pit strategy. We'll see if this 1-2 combo up front is able to hold off Alan Duggar. Haven't seen many fuel concerns here tonight with the amount of cautions we've had, but if we don't have any cautions and somehow we run Stage 2 green, these guys would likely need a green flag pit stop in your top 2. So we'll see how this all shakes out as we continue to make laps. Taking lap 90 out of 325 tonight at Martinsville.
Obviously this shuffling of the order is going to finally prove what Alan Duggar can really do out here, because it's one thing being able to restart and do good laps here, and now it's a matter of actually racing someone at Martinsville. Nate Pollard very preemptively just dives to the bottom up ahead and leaves Duggar to the outside, but that's going to lead to the switchback on the exit, and Duggar wants to send it, still not there. He's got to be patient. It's a long, long race, and he'll get this back if the pit strategy works the way he wants it to.
Yeah, we will see how it works out. Duggar is always a threat to win here in the Door Racing League, but recently I feel like he's just been second after second after second. He can't seem to break through onto that top step of the podium. He's got a good chance here tonight, once again, with Trevor Baxter out, but Trevor Baxter's missed quite a few of the last few races, and Duggar still hasn't been able to get it done, so it is always up for grabs here in the Door Racing League. Colt Huff currently holds the lead of this race here in that 08 car. He has 1 win on the season in the 5 races that he has attended, and he is looking to make it 2 for 6. Grabbed the win last month at Kansas here in Door, and then he's got Nate Pollard behind him, who is now going to go side by side with Duggar into this corner. Pollard really needs to hold him off here because he came in 18 points behind the cut, and with only 12 drivers in the field, he's really going to have to rely on getting more stage points than Daniel Best if he wants any shot at this. Duggar, on the other hand, is already locked in, so Pollard really, really needs this, but Duggar is going to be the one who ultimately gets the spot.
That feels inevitable, and that might set up what's going to happen with Colt Huff down the line. Doesn't even need to wait for pit stop cycles to do it. Duggar is fast, not actually the fastest in the last lap around the track. Trying to look who had the best lap in total, and I actually think Huff's fastest was a 1,000th of a second faster than Duggar's fastest, and Duggar's had the benefit of clean air to do all of that the whole time. So I mean, it's not just about one lap, it's about the long run, and you can see him coming in like Jaws right now, so that probably answers that.
Yeah, Duggar 0.2 of a second faster that last time around. He's really going for it here.
Switzer very slow in the back. He almost starts a caution. He actually does go around, and we do stay green, so he loops it a bit on exit and actually makes contact with the 5 with T-Bone on the side. He recovers. Somehow we remain green in the race, as this battle up front is about to become a pass for the lead anytime soon, I think. But how well can Huff hold that bomb?
And the thing about Switzer is that he held a lot of cars up as Duggar is really lurking for it right now. He'll pull down to the inside, which is the lane you want to be in, as Colt Huff is forced a little bit high here through 1 and 2. Huff has the momentum as Duggar didn't get a good exit, but Duggar will set it right back up in 3 and 4. You can see how the brakes are glowing on Huff's car. They seem to be a lot hotter than the brakes on Alan Duggar's car, which is maybe hurting Colt Huff's ability to break into these corners. As we stay side by side, Duggar still has the momentum, and it looks like he will get that spot. Your new race leader on lap 101 is going to be Alan Duggar, and Colt Huff is loose behind. I was going to say, Switzer having that spin has really set back those cars behind him. Brown, Best, and Bird are now 9 seconds back of Duggar and at risk of getting lapped here if they don't pick up the pace.
Duggar did exactly what he did to pass Pollard. Goes around the outside in 3 and 4, and then gets the switchback, dives to the inside down the start-finish straight, and sort of earns his way back to the inside, and immediately look at the gap. It's a whole second. Like, he just flown away like it's absolutely nothing. Now trying to set absolute flyers, and 18.8 is by far. Actually, no, that's still looking at the previous fastest lap. Still not the fastest in the race, would you believe it? Although we are later into the stints, but the difference in pace. I mean, even Pollard managing to make it past now. Duggar just flies in clean air. He's going to start lapping people.
Alan Duggar is really just dominating so far in this race. Took the lead back pretty quickly on some new tires on that restart, and he is just going to pull off into the sunset as Nate Pollard is under threat from Colt Huff right now. Pollard has gotten around that 08 car, but Huff is right there trying to challenge him back and retake that spot, and Colt Huff is going to go around on the front straightaway. Caution flies.
Surprising to see it from one of the front runners, but that's all the talk about consistency, and you know, you can be fast 100 times, but if you mess up that exit one time in a car with a horrible underbody that hates you and actually just broadly hates the idea of good racing in general, then that is probably how it's going to end for you, and he drops on like an absolute rock down to 7th.
I'd say he's gonna have to work his way back up through the field, but the field is about 6 cars right now, so he won't have too much work to do behind the wheel of that 08 car. So you'll see him, the brakes are really glowing on that thing, and he just loses it, gets on the gas too early out of 4, and then overcorrects. Decent sized hit into the outside wall there.
Just about gets away with causing more trouble, and that means the pit stop cycles are resumed. Those two drivers, of course, that sort of dodged it the first time, now probably take the chance to go for it now, and whereas they put Alan Duggar basically right on strategy according to plan.
Yeah, Duggar is going to stay out here. Looks like Stephen Bird is also going to stay out, and I don't think anyone is actually going to come with those cars. Everybody else is going to make the move down pit road. So it'll just be Duggar and Bird out on the track. Nate Pollard looked like he only came down for 2 tires, so an interesting call for him.
Two tires at Martinsville. Hope you can hold on. That's all I can say. Not something I've tried too much around here, but I mean, you do risk losing entire laps when you take 4. So I can see it. I just think that the balance is going to be very tricky.
Yeah, the pit road is so short here. The pace laps are so short here. Or, excuse me, the pit road is so long here and the pace laps are so short here that it can really cause you some problems. The only kind of benefit is that you're on that very far inside of the track and you can kind of ring the inside wall to get a little bit of time back, both on entry and exit. See MaconiEntertainment.com there for your broadcasting needs as we take another look at the unofficial pit stop counter here today, and we appear to be at 61 on this race. So a lot of cars coming in. We've got, looks like, well, Michael Reeves is in for number 9, but I don't think he's going to be leaving the pits. He's been in there for 6 minutes now. Hugh Brown also down 8 times. Thomas Freeman is 16 laps down with 8 pit stops, but he is on the racetrack, so if we get 16 more cautions and he gets 16 more lucky dogs, maybe he could find his way back to be one of the 8 cars on the lead lap. It's Duggar and Bird on the front row, and on lap 110, we're green at Martinsville.
I mean, what are the odds of 16 more cautions? I would say it's quite close to a guarantee at the rate we've been going.
We might have to deal with that hypothetical here by the end of this thing as Nate Pollard is really working on some cars. Oh, there goes William Larkin. Big contact. He's around. Well, there's number 1 for him.
I mean, did he get collected? That's very. If you take contact, you don't get the lucky dog.
That's a good question. We'll have to review what happened there and see.
No,
if
he
Thomas
gets away
Freeman
with it.
ended up in that.
He gets away with it.
Well, we'll take a look at this. Oh, he just barely got away with that too. Hugh Brown stacked up along with Colt Huff, but looks like Freeman got through. Number 5 car also took a pretty decent hit. That's Daniel Best.
I'm starting to believe the theory about my UPS packages the more and more I watch. It explains so much.
Yeah, this is actually what they do to your UPS package, is they take it to Martinsville and they just throw it at some cars before they give it to you.
Are you ready to do it again?
They actually seek out turbulence.
I mean, well, we don't, in the UK we do have UPS, but they're not like a main frequent solution. But every time I have them, it's like a really bad experience. So
yeah, it's the United Parcel Service. That means it's America. Get out of here.
I mean, but
That's
like
our,
US,
our
but like
parcel
the USPS.
You say
doesn't
parcel
exist here.
delivery, which is its own problem.
Yeah. Well, like, it's not the USPS. We don't have USPS because that's the US thing. We have like something else. But sometimes, yeah, exactly. I mean, but they're different. I know, but like they sound the same. I'm saying that. So we do have UPS, and they do okay, but they're not like a favorite. And there's a good reason they're not a favorite. Instead, we have Every, which I could talk about for a long time, but I'm already a Brit in someone else's. I'm already a Brit in someone else's. DHL are rare, but also okay. Every are like infamous for being like the cheapskates that a company goes for when they hate you and your package personally. So that's our problems. I'm already a Brit in the wrong place, so I gotta have this.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's just the price of being British, quite honestly. Alan Duggar and Stephen Bird are going to be 1 and 2 here, as I think we're doing a little bit of choosing here as we make our way around the racetrack. One thing I will say about UPS is that they do have a funny slogan, or they used to. They used to be, "What can Brown do for you?" Which went over as well as you would expect, and they changed it to "I love logistics." USPS don't have that. We are gonna have Alan Duggar and Stephen Bird on the front row here once again. Bird is gonna try to close it back in, and we'll see if anybody can stop Alan Duggar's reign of terror on the field. I'm trying to think of a quick parcel delivery service, but I'm not sure we have one. He's Amazon Prime out there in that 15 car as he is trying to race Stephen Bird, who will do anything he can to stop that 15. We'll see if it works. Not really. Great jump for Duggar as we're back green.
Pretty easy to get the good jump around here, but it's Switzer stuck outside again in his favourite position on the track, P4. I think Pollard's been slowly just in the right place, but a little bit of contact with the car ahead. Duggar needs to really get away from this.
We've got the 14 car of Stephen Bird in second as we try to get some battles going for P3. You've got the 6 of Switzer on the top side, trying to pass Nate Pollard up there. We'll see if he can hold that 16 down to the bottom and get the move done, while Best and Colt Huff are side-by-side behind him here for 5th and 6th. Oh, there goes Colt Huff. Caution, maybe? No, he's going to save it there. Has to take a little bit of a detour. Never mind, there he goes again. He's off the track, though, so I don't think that... Never mind, there goes the caution.
What's with the timing of that? I do think he almost gets away with it, and then sideways. I was really worried some horrible pit road penalty was going to happen, but I can confirm that hasn't totally ruined his day. And these cars are certainly going a little bit of everywhere. I don't know, from my angle, I couldn't see if there was contact. Yeah, there is contact, but the contact isn't it. I don't think it was the contact that did it, though. I think it was on the brakes again.
I think he lost it while he was trying to avoid the contact. He just locked it up too much into the corner, and that was ultimately what sent him around.
Here's a question, and this is a very important question, Sky. You know, you answer this from the heart. Are you having fun?
I'm having a great time. I'm having a great time. I'm about to open another Dr. Pepper, which my doctors say is unhealthy, but I say is necessary, quite frankly.
We are compensated very fairly for our services, by the way. So, you know, I'm not mad, but I did get the impression that we are not getting out of here in less than 3 hours.
Look, I believe in us.
I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor, and I say
Dr. Pepper wants me to keep drinking.
I'm a doctor, and I say it's awful. All right.
Those physicians, you know how they are. Yeah. Like, at least I don't drink 7 energy drinks today. I'm not one of those people.
That's me. Woo! Woo! Mango Loco should be.
That is not a real flavor. That is like prison food. That is the name of a prison Kool-Aid ripoff.
Is so good that I would drink it without the caffeine, relentlessly.
We're gonna go double file here for the restart. I need a at some point I need a counter on how many restarts we've had tonight. I do not have a way of showing that. Maybe Race Control has a way of showing that. As Alan Duggar and Stephen Bird are getting ready to go back green, 1 and 2 here for these cars as we get set and we get rolling here in just a moment. We are down to, I think it's still 8 cars on the lead lap. Yes, it is. Hugh Brown on 9 pit stops is just trying to survive back here and get that damage fixed. Bird and Duggar, same group that we've had for the last couple restarts on the front row. Lap 1, 2, 3. We're halfway through stage 2. Let's see if we can go green to the end at Martinsville.
Well, you know, that's not a guarantee because lap 162 is going to come knocking. But I get the principle. Stephen Bird totally losing it there on the outside.
No, nobody has had a good jump. I feel like that outside lane is just begging to have bad jumps. They've had so many of them today, and now Stephen Bird is way out of groove. That jump is going to go from bad to even worse in that 14 car as he slips all the way back to P5 here. Getting passed by Huff, and we have a caution because Switzer is around, and Freeman is around, and Daniel Best is going to T-bone him.
I'm going to find the sound effect of DJ Carlin saying another one. I'll be right back.
I'm going to get a replay here on how that occurred in just a second as we taking a look. I've been informed by my producer that is caution number 13 on the night Notably, we are on lap 124, and these cautions take about 6 laps to run, so you can do the math on that to see if the pace car is your lap leader tonight over Alan Duggar. As Switzer really just kind of, I think there might have been some contact there. We'll need a replay to determine for certain, but it looks like Nate Pollard got into the back of that 6 car, and that was ultimately what sent him around.
You know the definition of insanity? It's not actually trying the same thing and expecting a different result. It's actually it's actually a form of psychosis that can be diagnosed by doctors. But there's a pop culture reference about it somewhere. Go digging.
It's actually running the NASCAR Truck Series at Martinsville.
True. Well, I mean, I tried the MX500, as I said.
Yeah, I think that might be the definition of psychosis.
I died on like a lap 150, and I was like,
good.
I wish I could have finished.
That's 350 laps you didn't have to run in the MX500. There's the 6 car around to Joshua Switzer. It was off the nose of Nate Pollard, and then you see Freeman just kind of come in, trying to dodge that, and locks it up, and maybe some contact back there with the 10 car. But whatever the case, he ends up around into the inside wall, and that is more damage that car really did not need, because he is already 15 laps down.
You know, we were talking about 15 cautions being, what could happen, but unfortunately,
do you have stats on the incident points here? Because I wonder if anyone's getting close to our 39 incident point.
Oh boy!
If we're gonna have to be on watch for that.
Some drivers are. One driver's getting quite close. I think 2 are halfway. Alan Duggar, my goat, is still on 0.
Who are we looking at who might be on incident point DQ watch if this
Daniel
continues?
Best is on 28. So it's not. That is
concerning, as we are about a third of the way through this race.
Colt Huff on 20.
And are we doing a single file read? I am absolutely
to be double file. This is set as double file.
Okay, well, we're gonna have one of the restarts here. We're gonna restart about 1.5 file. It's Alan Duggar and it's Nate Pollard, and it's another great jump for Duggar because the outside lane just cannot restart here at Martinsville. Colt Huff will go to the inside of Nate Pollard for P2. We'll see what happens right there.
I have the TikTok spotter enabled, and she's saying green flag whenever we restart in my ear in my iRacing client, and it really is just improving the experience.
Hey, there's Colt Huff making a move for second. Nate Pollard will drop back to third. We got a couple cars on the wall. Looks like Stephen Bird in there as well. William Lark is going to get up the inside in the battle of the birds. He'll take P5, and Hugh Brown is going to sneak right on through as well. Big problems for that 14 car, Stephen Bird, as he has continued to free fall through the field here. Big problems for that car. Back to 7th, he's only got Daniel Best behind him, who might just be better served chilling out in 8th for a little bit and just trying to not get any more incident points racked up so he can finish out this race and get points. Because, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Daniel Best is the playoff cut line right now.
I mean, ain't that a thing to get playoff cut line down on an instant DQ? He's running slow though, 1.4 seconds back from Bird, who already is struggling and running slow. So if we do get a green run, you run the risk of getting lapped under green and then robbing a lucky dog from Thomas Freeman, which is even sadder, actually. But if you're someone like Thomas Freeman, right now, quite frankly, what you could do is just keep running laps and hope someone has a Danny Carpenter or just has a worse day than you, loses a wheel and is out. And then at that point, it is points.
And Thomas Freeman is here for vibes at this point. He is just making laps. He's hoping that someone like flips and ends up out of the race and he can end up passing them, as we get Hugh Brown trying to rack another move here on this 10 of William Lark. That 35 car who has been in the pits 10 times today is going to get himself up to P5, and missiles it into the corner trying to get Josh Switzer. And now William Lark tried to pounce, but he gets super loose off the corner, and we will stay in position despite a near miss there for the 5 car.
Switzer's usually been the one struggling to pass, but once he's on the other side of the equation there, and just about ends good for everybody. Really only one driver's in the chance of passing another. Maybe Nate Pollard gets in range of Colt Huff, but he's still got work to do in the dirty air of Huff's car, which, I mean, it's remarkable that it's got back up to this place after the earlier spin and sent to the back. It's just proof that patience here, quite frankly, gets you your reward.
Pollard is nearing punt range, so I wouldn't say it's impossible to get the move, but I think with the amount of cautions we have had in this race, he is likely just going to sit there, bide his time, maybe make the move towards the end of the stage here, because he needs all the stage points he can get. Even 6 stage points over Daniel Best will go a very long way towards his last-ditch prayer to get into the championship for.
Imagine this being how you lose it, though. Like, there is something heartbreaking fundamentally about that. If, like, a horrible day at Martinsville is how you don't end up getting into the playoffs. I mean, it's a reality of, like, NASCAR, but, like, this has been a day at Martinsville that for some, I think, has been more painful than others.
Pollard is there as he tries to make that move for second. He's had a bit of a renaissance here in the later part of the season, has really come alive down the stretch here a little bit. He had a lot of bad races. In fact, he went, I'm just going to count here, 10 straight races without getting into the top 5. He was 22nd in New Hampshire, 13th at Kansas, but over the last few weeks he started to turn it on. 5th at Charlotte, 6th at Talladega as he has tried to find his way into the Final 4, and he's making a little bit of contact with the bumper of Colt Huff here, not far away. As the stage starts to wind to a close, 22 to go, Nate Pollard is going to get more and more desperate for this move, and Colt Huff ain't too far behind Alan Duggar himself. Let's see what we can do here in this battle for the lead, because this is getting tight.
Now's not the time you want to move someone out of the way, though, of your bumper. I mean, like, what, a halfway stage at Martinsville for, like, 1 stage point? I mean,
look, if you're Nate Pollard, you have to go for it, because that is literally the only way you're getting into the next round of the 12-car field tonight.
I would just focus on the race finish, perhaps, and just, you know, start playing wrecking ball near the end.
You can't gain that many points, because he's going up against Daniel Best, who basically the worst he can finish right now is 9th. So, like, he needs to get these stage points, or else he is completely done.
But if you make an enemy now, then you give me lots of paperwork to deal with later in race control, and also potentially make yourself an enemy by the end of this race. And that's, I think this is a race where it is easy to end up next to your enemy after a few cautions. And that's just what I'm thinking. And then I've not been doing the whole championship picture over the season, and you definitely have.
We'll end up seeing how it works out here, but I think Pollard is likely to get pretty aggressive for these last couple spots as we wind our way down to the end of the stage here. Hey, James Nesta has just rejoined the session, so maybe he's gonna go for a stroll around the racetrack here. 73 laps down. Maybe he sees the opportunity to pass Michael Reeves and just get himself a couple more points here before this thing is all said and done. I believe this is our longest green flag run of the race, as your top 3 cars are in a very tight line here. Duggar, Huff, and Pollard. Somebody's going to make a move here soon. This line is not going to hold forever.
First time Duggar's been under threat for a long time. 30 laps older on those tyres, so it starts to make sense that this might be happening. He's been the one staying out under every caution, taking no damage at all this race so far, but not taking any fuel top-ups and really using the track position. Now might be when that starts to bite you just a little bit more. You do have that is an angry Nate Pollard behind the driver that will decide your destiny as race leader. It has nothing to do with this championship battle, so there's quite a few scary things in the equation all at once here.
We continue to wind down the time to the end of this stage. It's going to be about 14 to go at the line this time, and Pollard is really getting close to the bumper of Colt Huff. It's kind of yo-yoing. Colt Huff will get closer to Duggar, and then he'll drop back to Pollard, and it just keeps going back and forth. Hugh Brown is joining this fight as well in the 35 car. He's starting to close into this pack as he's running a little bit faster laps than some of these cars up here in the top 3. We'll see if Hugh Brown can maybe get something done before the stage ends. A lot left to play for here as we make our way into the championship 4.
Few points on offer now. You're very right, though. Not many more points on offer later, so what do you think of the actual odds of Nate doing something unbelievable? Like, where would you put them as someone that's done?
I want to see it. My heart is with a Nate Pollard upset win to lock himself into the championship 4, but we will see how it plays out. I am firmly on Team Nate Pollard. He has snuck his way through the last 2 rounds. I think he was pretty much the last car into the round of 8. Or the round of 12. He was the last car into the round of 8. So he has really squeaked his way through the format. And I think He's got, with the performance he's shown over the last few weeks, he's got as good of a shot at anybody at Phoenix if he's able to bring it there. As Colt Huff is loose off the corner, that might be what Nate Pollard needs here. No, he'll back out. Can't get what he needs, but Huff is loose once again there as he runs a little bit further up the racetrack. Under 10 to go to the end of the stage. Nate Pollard, he's there as Alan Duggar starts to pull away.
Wait for that mistake and strike. Many times I've seen Pollard in races because he's been in more than one league on this channel. I've identified that car design. I've seen a car that generally, from my experience, can be fast, but gets unfortunate. So this would be a real fortunate turn in my memory of what I've seen of this guy if he's able to push through, but might have had his chance and just not been able to strike on it, and time's running out to get that bonus point.
And he needs all he can get here as Alan Duggar is absolutely checked out up there in first. Gonna come down to second as Nate Pollard almost to the bumper there of Colt Huff. He's looking to get something going here, but he needs to be a little bit closer if he is going to try to make that bump down into the corner. He's dealing with the dirty air, but he's just got to maximize everything he can get here if he is to pull his way up towards Colt Huff. Got to run quick because Hugh Brown is starting to close in a little in that rearview mirror, and he could maybe join this fight for a spot on the podium before this is done.
I think it's going to be hard for Brown to make the move in this car in this time, but I think the 2 attempts for Nate Pollard, you know it's now or never, but Huff's been so good at running that bottom for quite a few laps. Duggar slows down for a lap or two, so now he's sort of back in this. And what's Huff going to look at, in front or behind? Maybe he can just deal with Duggar and just not make this his problem, but he's sort of stuck on both ends. I don't really think there's a good answer for him right now.
We will see as we head under 5 to go to the end of the stage here. And oh, Colt Huff is way up the road here in turn 2, and that'll open the door for Nate Pollard. Will that give him what he needs? He's got the inside line into 3 and 4, and we know Colt Huff has been out of shape on that high side here a couple times over the course of this run. They're going to stay pretty even, but across the line, it is going to be Nate Pollard. 3 to go here in stage 2 for Pollard. He'll hold that spot. Colt Huff sits 3rd. Hugh Brown sits 4th. He's in this battle, and he's going to launch Ascend in on Colt Huff. Blocks it up, slides up the road, and he will lose spots. He's not going to be in this battle for 3rd. I don't believe it's going to be Colt Huff on Nate Pollard. What can these two do as we come down? 2 to go here in stage 2, and Huff is there on Nate Pollard. As we head through 3 and 4, Pollard's looking pretty good right now. White flag in stage 2. And oh, a little bit of Ascend. There goes Colt Huff. He's around in turn 1. Will this bring out the caution? No, he saves it, but that is going to give P2 in the stage to Nate Pollard. Back up front, P1 in the stage is going to go to the 15 of Alan Duggar. He wins stage 1, now he wins stage 2.
Pollard really, like, it was not Pollard I'm talking about, it's Huff I'm talking about here, who really did just sort of show signs of mistakes once or twice. He really did risk things, go wide, make errors, and I thought he'd lost it once by going a little bit too wide. I was not expecting the pressure to double down and give up another position to somebody else entirely. I thought maybe he'll hold on to that one. That's a real surprise to see that choke at the very, very end of the stage. That is the worst time to choke. Lap at the end of a caution, but I say the word concentration a lot because all you have to do is hit those brakes too hard one time.
As Alan Duggar wins stage 2, we're going to send it to a quick side-by-side break, and we'll be right back here on Maconi Entertainment.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
We are back here at Maconi Entertainment, and we're getting ready to go back green here for Stage 3 of the Door Racing League. We're halfway home for Martinsville. It's Duggar and Pollard on the front row. After everybody came down the pits, we're back green.
That's Daniel Best on the inside, loose on the exit again, keeps the car pointed forward so we stay green, but he's on the precipice of a DQ right now, so still not.
How many's he got?
That car, 28.
Ooh, okay.
And there is Nate Pollard around.
Oh, no, Nate Pollard was having such a good day as he tried to sneak his way into the playoffs, and he is just going to lose it from second and end up in that outside wall. That is not at all what he needed.
I do not know what happened to the rear of that car.
That's a weird one.
We don't know.
I think he might have clipped the curb, and that might be what caused that. We'll have to get a replay. But he was pretty much on the curb. I think he did just kind of clip the curb, and it spun when he dropped it. You'll see it right here. He was running all the way down. He was running right on the curb, and I think he might have just gotten a little too much. Let's see. Yep, clips the curb there, and then you can see the car start to shake as it drops. And there goes Nate Pollard.
There are plenty of curbs these cars can take, but that's not one of them. Martinsville builds them like a brick wall that you shall not pass, and these cars are not compliant enough to enjoy that one bit. Rare that it happens from running too low, but this is one of those tracks that bites you when you do. That's brutal.
You can see it. Yeah, he's just on that curb there, and he drops it. Car starts to rattle, a little bit of wheel hop, and there goes Nate Pollard. He's having such a good day, and it is going to be... He's going to have to work his way all the way back up.
But there's time. Would you believe we're only halfway through this race?
Don't say that.
Yeah, I know it broke my heart under the caution as well, but it means that there's so much time to make up, what, 4 or 5 places?
Yes. To quote whatever band made the song, we're halfway there, whoa, living on a prayer. We have 153 to go here. My producer, okay, so this is stage caution 13 if we do not include stage cautions, but I am including stage cautions, so we're gonna go with that is caution 15 here tonight on Maconi Entertainment from Martinsville, and we're gonna get these cars racked back up momentarily. And do we have any keys to the race other than survive, Howie?
Survive. It's survive. Brake at the right time.
All right, yep.
Don't use the gas too hard. Look out for other cars. You win.
Brake and survive. For the record, we only need about 13 more cautions to get Thomas Freeman back on the lead lap. He has picked up about 4 more laps, and that is with him still pitting to fix damage behind the wheel of that 17 car. Pace car is in. It's Duggar. It's Switzer. We're green. Once again at Martinsville. Get some racing here down the back straight away. Hugh Brown, that was a close one there into the bumper of that car in front of him. That is the 14 of Stephen Bird narrowly dodging that one. As Hugh Brown now a little bit up the racetrack. Nate Pollard, he said he had to drive through the field, but there's not much of a field at this point. It's a race of attrition, so he in that 16 car is already right back in 5th. Trying to work on Hugh Brown for P4 here off the corner, and oh, that's somebody backwards. That is Joshua Switzer from 3rd around on the front straightaway. No caution. That'll put Pollard up to 4th, Hugh Brown up to 3rd. Everybody moves up 1 position after the spin of Switzer.
Surprised that Switzer gets away with that, but the truth be told, he gets away with it. P7 on the track now, ahead of William Lark. Duggar's done the thing where he's run away again. And I figure we're going to see something similar to the end of last stage, where eventually he's going to get reeled in bit by bit. And at some point it's going to become a bit of an after-tangle on the front. But one thing he hasn't done is actually give up that lead.
No, Alan Duggar has done a great job of defending that lead so far today. Like you said, the only time he really gave it up was on a pit stop. During green flag racing, Duggar has been practically perfect out here. And you've seen that so far tonight as Nate Pollard and Colt Huff sit P4, P5 right now, and Hugh Brown is really on the bumper of Stephen Bird in the 14, trying to get that spot going for P2. And we will see what these two can do. As Hugh Brown, what can Brown do in that UPS car? He's going to maybe take a peek to the inside down here into turns 1 and 2. Thank you for the laugh, producer. That's about the 12th time I've made that joke this year. He gets the spot pretty easily, and Nate Pollard will sneak his way on through. Stephen Bird drops back to 4th.
You know, I thought Pollard would get there through good luck and fortune through cautions, and I often say things that turn out to be wrong, and here's one of them. Pollard has just made it up there through pure pace and perseverance.
Yeah, he's really just kind of made it back up through the field here as I mean, like I said, not much of a field. Colt Huff is going to make a move and spin. That was a major send into the corner that is going to result in a major caution as he is stuck down there in the inside wall. Just another case of someone sending it in too deep, the car not sticking, and them going sideways for, if you include stage cautions, number 16 on the night. Yeah, he just lost it there into that corner. He just kind of sent it, and I mean, yeah, we've seen that same move happen quite a few times from different cars tonight where they've just dove it a little deep into the corner and have just not really made it stick and have resulted in spins. I think Colt Huff has pulled it at least once or twice. We've had a couple cars who have had that happen where they've sent it in and then tried to save it and slid all the way up the road. Colt Huff is just going to end up going around there and sticking it on the inside of the track for caution number 16.
I'm looking very closely for where a driver gets their incident count above 30. We're not there yet. So we're getting, I mean, even like Pollard, 16, like halfway to 30, halfway through the race. It all adds up. Imagine a 17X here. I remember broadcasting a race with 17X here. It was extraordinary.
I feel like I've seen a couple where we've had that happen kind of late on in the race, and it's really shaken things up. Daniel Best is the driver you said was close. I think he's still going to be on a 28X, but he's just kind of not really been racing it in the pack. He knows if he wants to make the Final Four, he pretty much just needs to finish at this point, and he is driving around, hanging out, just doing anything he can to not get a DQ here tonight. He is really just vibing in that 5 car. It's been a while since we updated the pit road stop counter here tonight, but by my very quick back of the napkin math, we are sitting at 89 pit stops here in 185 laps. at Martinsville. The pace has slowed from the very early onslaught, but it's because cars just kind of fixed all their damage. You got less damage to fix on the car. You're going to come down pit road less, and that has allowed us to get a few less pit stops here. It has been 2 stops for Alan Duggar. It has been at least 6 stops for every other car in the field.
Got a feel for Duggar. He came in to race Martinsville, and he hasn't actually got to do much racing at Martinsville.
And we got, what, 12 cars? Well, we're not going to count Danny Carpenter because he ended up out of the race immediately. That's about 8 cautions, or 8 pit stops per car. Here's we get ready. It's Duggar, it's Hugh Brown. Great jump once again for Duggar. Nobody can stop him when he gets those jumps on the inside. He just takes off every single time.
It's the advantage of the restart zone. Quite easy to read and beat people. Getting a good side of the track and go. On the topic of good side of the track, Nate Pollard. Back up to P2, contact with Hugh Brown on the exit. Still not clear as we enter turn 1 again. Now Hugh Brown very, very far and wide. Pollard caught up to Duggar a fair bit in the last few laps. I wonder if Duggar will get away. Brown's still trying to hold on the outside of the 08.
I thought Hugh Brown was about to right rear to Pollard there. That got close between those 2 cars, and Hugh Brown does the exact same thing Colt Huff just did and completely overcooks the corner trying to pass Colt Huff and loops it for caution number 17.
17! Give it up for caution number 17!
I'll make a 6-7 joke, but I think we need about 50 more. Alan Duggar continues to hold the lead now as Hugh Brown is going to have to get it worked back up, as that is not the first, second, third, fourth, or maybe even 5th caution we've had tonight for someone just sending it really deep into a corner and it just not sticking at all. Yeah, there you go. 35 cars around, and I mean, at least he hasn't hit the outside wall. He's not going to have too much damage. He's probably going to have to put a new set of tires on, though, because I will have to imagine that he cooked those with that spin.
As long as my package in the back doesn't take too hard of a shock, you know.
Yeah, well, it didn't. There you go. He just got a little bit dizzy, but should be all good.
They could take a little bit of rough and tumble, but if that thing gets totaled, then, you know.
A little bit of turbulence. A little bit of turbulence today. Hey, Brian Burchett has joined the session. I think he's about 191 laps late, but maybe he's spotting for somebody here for the rest of the race. He has run a couple races so far this season in door-to-door. Had some pretty good results. I believe he's going to finish the season here unless he's at Phoenix with 8 top 5s on the year. So, Brian Burchett going to watch the rest of this race, maybe spot the rest of this race. And I would say that 3 car, but he's not out on the track today.
It's been a day. Can we hold hands and sing Kumbaya at the end of it? Can we just, like, you know that we've been through? This takes me back to last season. So earlier this season when one of my first broadcasts on the channel was the early spring race of Martinsville Full Length Cup Challenge. That one hurt. We were dreading it for Friday Night Lights. Friday Night Lights was great. Really good race around Martinsville. A few yellows, but like within the variance of a full pack of Martinsville, it was pretty reasonable. I do feel like I'm back, though. I'm back in a form of purgatory that I can't really comprehend or put words to.
Martinsville is a hit-or-miss track where sometimes you get some incredible races here, and sometimes you just get a lot of cautions, and I think we're kind of on that side of getting a lot of cautions here tonight. The racing's been good when we've had racing, but we haven't had much racing because we're averaging about a caution every 10 laps here. We'll try to get some green flag laps in with 132 more to go. It's Duggar and it's Colt Huff back up in second, and we are right back green with another great jump from Duggar. Duggar's on the inside, and Colt Huff is going to lock it up the road there. We've seen him kind of miss that corner and slide up quite a few times tonight. That entry to the corner has really been his kryptonite. Hugh Brown is going for it, and he's going to hold on to the car there. As, never mind, the 6 is going to go around, and he will tag Hugh Brown along the way, and that will be our caution.
I was joking about that being our favorite graphic about 30 cautions ago. Nah,
I think I wish I had I said on about caution number 5 I should sponsor that. That would have been a good deal.
Think about what money you could have made.
Yeah, if you want to sponsor Maconi Entertainment or the Door Racing League for next season, if they're back here at Maconi Entertainment, or just sponsor them for the final race at Phoenix, hit up Door Racing League, hit up Maconi Entertainment if you want to sponsor some of our cautions. We would love to have sponsors. I love money. I wouldn't see the money. Jeff would see the money.
It's
but
caution number 20.
Point stands.
By Hostile Takeover Bank. It's caution number 21, brought to you by Hostile Takeover Bank. Just say it every time, you know.
Do you, they'll do dirt races where they'll, like, for charity, auction off a lap. So it's like lap 20, sponsored by the Smith family. We're gonna be on that, but with cautions. As you see, Hugh Brown completely send it into the corner. I'm kind of shocked he managed to hold that thing down and keep it glued to the bottom, but he sent the 6 up the track. The 6 got hard on the throttle. And there they both went. 6 car around, 35 car around. Nate Pollard did a pretty good job to kind of sneak through the madness there. And he is going to sit in P4 when this is all... I guess P3 even, because we're going to see some pit stops for Daniel Best. As our pit road counter continues to climb, we now have, by my count, 5 cars over 10 pit stops.
I've made sure to ask everybody on Race Control if they're having fun. Nate Pollard says yes. He's having
he's having a good race. He's doing a great job. He's sitting up here in 3rd. Has the 3rd least pit stops in the field with 8. He's having a great time.
Doug's response sounded miserable. No, he didn't sound happy.
We are at, I'm going to count, 97 on the pit road counter tonight.
How many total incidents? Give me a spitball number.
14 for William Lark. I'm going to go with 220.
168.
Oh, okay. See, hey,
7.
That's better than I thought. That's better than I thought here for this race. Do we have anyone else, or is it just still Daniel Best kind of approaching that incident point limit?
We now have 4 drivers above 20. And Alan Duggar still on 0.
Alan Duggar's having a great time up here. We're going to need to watch that, I think, if we get some more cautions coming down at the end of the race, because that could actually... We didn't expect it to play a factor in things at the start, but if those drivers keep sneaking up towards that penalty mark at 35 or the DQ mark at 39, that could come into play here tonight. It's going to be the 15 of Duggar, the 14 of Bird on the front row. We're green once again for the 19th time.
You've definitely enjoyed that line.
I was just saying in Spanish next time. We're racing for 3rd. It's Nate Pollard and Colt Huff in the 16 and the 08. Pollard's got that inside line, and I think he's just got the faster car right now. Colt Huff has really struggled to work the top all race long, and he is going to have to hold back in 4th. Can't get the send going that he might want, as we've got battles going on further back. Daniel Best is in free fall through the field. Switzer has just gotten around him there, although actually Switzer's a lap down, so he can't get around him there. Switzer is going to have to get that lap back here if we get another caution, as Daniel Best continues to just go slow and drop through the field. I really think he's just trying to dodge an incident points DQ tonight, because he knows that is the only way, I believe, that he could get past for this championship battle.
Yeah, he needs up. But the problem is that, like, out of all the people to be looking for others to get DQ'd, he's in the worst position to possibly get DQ'd first. So, a little bit worrisome out there. Staying kind of honest up front. Duggar not running away, but I expect that he'll keep that gap healthy or growing, as really Pollard and Bird. Pollard has been more impressive as the race has gone on. It hasn't just been luck that's gotten up there into that top 3. He has had to pass people on pace over and over again.
No, Nate Pollard is not, I do not believe, barring with that DQ and barring something crazy happening, like Pollard sneaking through to grab his first win of the season, I don't believe he's going to make that championship 4, but considering the fact that I think he came into it with the least playoff points out of anybody after a pretty disastrous end to the regular season, he has done a great job to solidify himself as a contender here through the playoffs in that 16 cars. He has really just made a good run of it here, giving a good account of himself, and he's trying to get second on Stephen Bird here. He's got a little bit of time to do it with 120 laps in this race. But, oh, both cars are loose there. I was going to say Bird is up the road, but Pollard did too, and Colt Huff is going to give a shot to the back of that 16 car. I was thinking he might have went for the move to the inside, but ultimately just ended up banging into the back of him. As Colt Huff tries to find his way back onto the podium here, but he'll need to do it a little more carefully and avoid the send and subsequent spin that he had last time he tried it.
Gap between Pollard and the cars around has been a bit of a yo-yo. First he's close to the car ahead, then he's close to the car behind, and it might just swing back the other way. Really the only close battle that count here. But it seems like Pollard's good on entry half the time, bad on entry half the time. I mean, I'm saying that as if it's not just like a reality of Martinsville, as at every corner you got to hit that braking marker perfectly and just hope it works out for you. But the only person who really profits here comes Pollard to the inside, and he's fast, and he's forced that 14 right up the track. In fact, he might lose another.
Yeah, Colt Huff is going to sneak through for third there as well. That was a great move to the inside for Nate Pollard to grab that spot. Colt Huff is able to follow him on through, and now Stephen Bird, who was running second, is right back to fourth and is going to need to get on the attack and get something going if he wants to get back up onto that podium.
There's no such thing right now as being out of contention in this top 5, knowing just how much drivers have been swinging up and down. Would you believe if we stayed green to the end, it would still be 36 minutes of straight running of Martinsville? I may remind the audience that we are compensated well for our services based upon how long the show is. So, not my problem. Not my problem that this is good running this long. But
Can we pull that points graphic up here, because it is getting really, really close for this last spot. Daniel Best, you see him there, he's running fourth. He's only 3 points to the good, but that might be enough because Nate Pollard just needs to get. If Nate Pollard can't get around Duggar, I don't think he's going to get him. The big threat here is going to be if William Lark in the 10 can jump his way back up through the field. Lark has gotten some pretty good stage points today. If he gets up to third or fourth, and Daniel Best stays back there in that 7th position as he is, last car on the lead lap, even if Switzer can maybe get the lap back and get back around Best and demote him one spot, Lark is getting really close to stealing away this final spot in the championship 4, so it is all to play for here. Duggar's locked in, Baxter's locked in, Hugh Brown is locked in. And this battle is all going to come down to Best, Lark, and Pollard. Pollard is going to need a Hail Mary here. He's going to need to win this race if he wants to get it done. Lark and Best are just going to be a couple of positions between them.
Best is going to have a bad day if he ends up in 1 or 2 more incidents, but if it's win or nothing for Pollard, he has to hope for a miracle. Because the one thing that Duggar hasn't been done is been possible.
If Best does get that DQ, he's not only going to drop behind Switzer, he's going to drop behind Freeman as well. So that'll be -2 points for him, I believe, and he will bring it home 9. That'll put William Lark in, basically by default, and then if Pollard can find just 1 more position, I mean, he kind of would need to win the race at this point because he wasn't able to get those extra stage points, but if he can sneak his way up there, he'd get it, and I think he knows that he needs to win this race right now because he is driving the race of the season behind the wheel of that 16 car. We have not seen Nate Pollard so fast, so consistent all year. He knows what he has to do. He knows this is his chance, and he's going for it right now.
Like a movie protagonist who knows that they need to turn it up at the last possible second to have a chance. You're making me believe in the storyline, actually. He's not letting Duggar just run for a million miles.
I do want to know, guess where Nate Pollard finished last time we went to Martinsville?
I wouldn't know. I hope
P2.
Stay in one place. Ugh.
This is his best track. He lost to Joshua Switzer, but he prevailed over Trevor Baxter, led 63 laps in that race. This is a track he very much knows how to get around, and if there is a place where he is going to find his way into this next round, this is going to be it.
And also, I mean, I talked about not using the bumper earlier. This would be a scenario to get up to someone and use the bumper, but a yellow is going to reset the field. I'm trying to work out where that really was. It might have been Switzer solo spinning it.
That is Switzer. It's bad for him because he really wanted that lucky dog. That would have been good for him if he got it, but yeah, I think that caution is going to be potentially for Switzer around on the front straightaway. Yes, it is. So he is not going to get the lucky dog and get his lap back. That'll go to Thomas Freeman, who is going to go to, I believe, 9 laps down. 9 laps down. You'll see the 6 enter the corner here, and you will see the 6 gas it too much on exit and spin the car out here. He does keep it out of the wall, though, so not too much damage on that car, but he is going to hope that there is another caution that comes out, so he is able to get this lap back. Actually, he might get a wave around here. I think he will get a wave around here, because every other car on the lead lap has pit. Switzer has stayed out, and it looks like he will get the wave around. He'll get back on the lead lap. And Daniel Best, who seems to just be in drop to the back of the field whenever possible mode, could go back to 8th. I don't think he has the live timing that we have, so I don't know if Daniel Best knows how close he is to losing this spot to William Lark. It's going to be a matter of about 1 point.
Lark's black flagged, and I have to work out why that was. He might have sped.
We're gonna see. We will find out here. I will take a look at this, and we'll see what that would be for William Lark. That is absolutely a speeding penalty on pit road there for the 10 car. He was not even close. That is a speeding penalty by about 20 miles an hour.
That instantly changes things for that battle, because that does not come without a harsh punishment.
Now,
yeah,
well, it's speeding under caution might, oh no, he still got it. That might just be an EOL. He is gonna hope that that's just an EOL. So if he gets an EOL, he'll be fine. The problem is gonna be if it isn't an EOL, and then he's in trouble. Okay, so it's an end-of-line penalty. We're getting confirmation for William Lark, which is going to be very good for him, because that is going to really resurrect his chances here. If that was worse, he's out. But I think as they run, Daniel Best is in 5th. I'm assuming he's going to do the same thing he's done the last couple of restarts and maybe just try to drop back through the field. Lark really only needs 2 or 3 spots better at this point, and he could get it. So this is going to be clutch. Nate Pollard came out of the pits first, and he is going to be the control car on 2 tires. We're back green at Martinsville. Can Nate Pollard pull it out?
It's a risky strategy, but it's the sort of thing you have to do to force track position, and time is genuinely starting to run down in this race, especially because it flies quickly under green and the laps go fast, and Duggar's losing even more. Colt Huff could have the better of him on the inside. He's good on exit, but just on entry and mid-corner, that car is not fast. It never is here.
No, he is struggling as Duggar is home. He's going to drop back to 3rd here. Colt Huff is going to take a move up to the inside. We'll see if he can get clear. He looked like he was. Oh, there goes Nate Pollard from the lead. Colt Huff involved. Oh my goodness, and the leader. He needs the win, and he's around.
It's so Pollard over. 2 cars down.
No. Colt Huff wasn't even involved. Colt Huff wasn't involved in this. He lost it on his own. Caution number 20.
No. Huff does try and avoid. Pollard's car, and that unsettles him and spins him out of the turn. So that was one thing led to the other. But I mean, if there's anyone that can get back up the truck, it is Nate. But that's the risk of taking 2 tires. The car just is not going to behave like you're used to with the different balance on the tires.
He's got 95 to go if he wants to try this again, as he backs it into the fence there. Not too much damage. The bulk of the damage in that crash was on Colt Huff. Colt Huff absolutely got the worst of that. Man.
Yeah, I literally, like, I've never quite heard, like, your heart break in two like that.
I was rooting for him. That was, he was up there. He's going for the first win of the season, and that is not the way you want it to go. If there is any consolation for Nate Pollard, he is going to be in 5th now, so he can get past these cars. He can maybe try a little more pitch strategy here and find a way around Duggar. I mean, we're not really using too many tires with the amount of cautions that we have, so he could find a way to play this and get his way back up the field. We'll just have to see how it all shakes out here over these last 90 laps to the finish of this race.
We are... I'm just keeping an eye. I think someone said something about race control, so you might just have to pad so that I can hear that one.
We are at 108 pit stops here tonight. There's some padding for you. We are at 3 pit stops for your race leader, Alan Duggar. It is 8 for Switzer, 9 for Pollard, and it is a maximum of 16, yes, 1-6 pit stops for William Lark, who has gone 2 laps down trying to fix damage, which is going to be extremely consequential here for the end of the race, especially as Daniel Best now sits in P2. So that is really going to hurt his chances to pass that 5 car. We'll see how it all goes down over these last 90 laps as Daniel Best is back up front for the first time all night, and we'll see what he can do versus Alan Duggar. As we take the green flag once again at Martinsville, and are we wrecking before we took the green flag there? That is William Lark stopped on the apron, and he is going to tow. So William Lark's chance of getting into this championship 4 is over, and that is the best news, and we're wrecking. Switzer is around. That is the best news that Best could have possibly gotten.
I mean, that's Switzer into the well into the back of Pollard, but
yeah,
it's all just cascading. It's all just getting worse and worse and worse for everyone.
That was, yeah, Switzer into the back of Pollard there, and then just loses it. Stephen Bird comes in, and Stephen Bird gets that last little bit of contact in that 14 car. Damage is just piling up on these cars, and Switzer is going to tow as well. This is a nightmare scenario for Nate Pollard. Well, it's a nightmare scenario from William Lark, because William Lark is out. He's not advancing, barring a Daniel Best DQ at this point. It's a nightmare scenario for Pollard, because now we've got 6 cars on the lead lap, and Daniel Best is one of them, so he can't get the separation he needs points-wise in order to actually get in. Plus, he took some contact there. I wouldn't be surprised if he got a 4X after the 6 of Switzer got into him.
Race control is hard. I had to leave you hanging there for a second. Lots of black flags potentially coming out, or people talking about black flags that aren't quite happening, and me just trying to work out the rest. It's amazing what these next-gen cars can put up with. I think there's a lot of other cars where your race would be done by this point of this much sustained wrecking. But instead, you're able to just repair and get back out onto the track over and over again, and it just sort of leads to this cycle. Or even, I called green flag runs, so I thought, how bad could 12 cars possibly be? And
well, you say that, you say that actions are durable, but we're looking at Switzer there, and he did get stuck on the berm, and that is why he had to tow.
Well, that's just funny. That's funny. So, I mean, the wreck sheds are also basically pure bricks and planks with no suspension travel, so it makes sense.
Yeah, it is just kind of plywood under these cars at a certain point. Cost-cutting measures on the next gen to try to make them a little cheaper. What are they going to call the model after the next gen? Are they going to call it the Nexter gen? The Nexus gen? I don't know. That's NASCAR's problem in about 5 years from now. Alan Duggar is going to go back from first. Daniel Best is going to go to the outside of him. And we're going to get ready to go back green once again. Nate Pollard's got yellow flag on the hood of that car, and that has gotten a lot of airtime here tonight.
Daniel Best is up in P3 as a result of the carnage. Nobody's hit the 30 on incidents yet, by the way. Best is actually, after climbing all the way to the top like it's a competition, holding on to it without going too much higher. And in fact, Nate Pollard has a chance of reaching that barrier as well. But this race has been so volatile because it was Pollard over, and now Nate Pollard's in P2 again and would challenge for the win again. Daniel Best is the car holding up in the middle. What's going on today, Sky? Well, has there been a storyline that is coherent that we can follow?
No. I mean, the thing about this race is that you've only got about 6 cars in the field, so if you have a spin and you lose all your track position, you're going back to 6th. It's not really a huge loss for Nate Pollard. He was able to drive his way back up to 2nd pretty quickly.
And someone's used to get gifted it, and then, I mean, I guess Duggar being the fastest is a storyline. This yellow is brought to you by Hostile Takeover Bank, by the way.
Oh, a new caution.
But there is a new caution that just dropped.
We will have to check and see what might have been the cause of that yellow here. Because I am
Hugh Brown.
Not sure. Hugh Brown. Oh, yep, 35 cars around on the front straightaway, all on his own. Is he getting near that incident point limit?
No. I mean, he's 22. That's lower than
Okay, he should be good. He should be good. Is it still Best that's the most on 28?
Still Best on 28.
Okay, then we're looking pretty good here because he hasn't gotten any in about 120 laps now. We only have 80 to go. 22nd caution of the night. It would take a lot for you to get 10 or more here in the last few laps. We'll see the replay here for Hugh Brown. And he's just going to loop it. Gets on the gas too early out of the corner. Spins it. A tail as old as time. Or I guess an hour and 54 minutes since the start of this race. Because that tail has been very, very prominent tonight. We've seen quite a few cars do that.
We've seen Alan Duggar, though, consistently on top. Possibly leading more laps than the pace car on this raw consistency. We'll have to see. We'll do the maths at the end of it. But I think there's a good chance.
Yeah, Alan Duggar has just been really lights out today. He hasn't made any mistakes. He's just kind of perfect up there. No one can really get to that 15 car as he continues to drive away with this thing up in front of the field.
We all need snacks and drinks and anything in between.
And make some popcorn here for these last 80 laps here, because it might get pretty good. Chow down while we're at it, as we get ready to go for another restart here. I believe it'll be 23, 22, 23rd restart of the night here on our 22nd caution as we get ready to go. Lap 246 as the 15 of Alan Duggar and the 16 of Nate Pollard line up 1 and 2, and Nate Pollard is going to do everything in his power to try and steal this from the 15 car. I don't know if you're locked in to the next round with a win. We'll find out if Nate Pollard gets it done. It hasn't really come into question here because no one has been in the situation of trying to lock themselves in last second in these playoffs. But Nate Pollard is going to give it a shot here tonight as we are right back green at Martinsville.
Nate's not getting bad launches on the outside, but you always struggle into turn 1 on that line, and he's forced all the way up. Oh, Huff's going to be alongside now. Daniel Best is the one challenging for the lead.
Daniel Best needs to lock himself in, and now that he's not really worrying about the incident point limit anymore, he can put it all on the line to try to grab the win here tonight. And that's exactly what he's doing, because after laps and laps and laps of just running at the back, trying to wear down the time, he is here when it counts the most, and with under 80 laps to go, he is in hot pursuit of the 15 car of Alan Duggar as he tries to find his way to victory lane here in that 5 car.
That would be the shock of the century that you would not have been able to predict after the first half of this race. Oh, by the way, you know, after Duggar leads the whole race with no incidents, Daniel Best comes through with a steel chair That's Stephen Bird around on the start-finish straight, brought to you by Hostile Takeover Bank.
That is going to be caution number 23 on the night for a self-spin for Stephen Bird. And we're going to have to, we'll get a replay for you on what happened there. It would be Daniel Best's second win of the season. He grabbed one earlier in the year at Talladega. He's been close a couple times. Second at Atlanta. He likes the big tracks. And then he grabbed second at Bristol as well. But those are the closest he's been up to the front so far this season as we see Stephen Bird. And you're not going to believe it. He's going to overdrive it out of the corner and spin it around, as we have seen many, many times tonight. That has been a recurring issue for these cars. He hits the FS1 banner. Yeah. All I'm saying is that I think the three of us in the booth right now could put on a better show than trucks on FS1.
Is this better or worse than trucks on FS1?
I think they should hire me to do play-by-play for trucks on FS1.
Oh,
this is my application. Okay. I'll work for $5 an hour, quite honestly.
So I have a friend who did NIS at Martinsville last year and got 31 cautions for 124 caution laps.
My question is, why would you do NIS at Martinsville?
That's a question for someone else. Anyway, what are the odds?
I don't think we're going to hit that. I think we're going to run out of laps here. We're at 23. We've got, quick math, 72 to go.
Good news,
so
everyone,
I don't think we could.
We have
I don't think we could get
no chance of timing out. The session has another 2 hours loaded on it, so we have little to no chance of running out of time, which is really the best part. Like, we are here until the laps run out. There's just nothing.
Alan Duggar is gonna come down pit road and he just won't leave. No one will leave, and we'll run the session out.
I mean, that would get us even better compensated, but what would we do in the meantime? I don't know if I'd enjoy that. Wouldn't make me feel good.
We could, I'll find us something to do in the unlikely possibility this happens.
Everybody could just, like, play along.
By the way, Steelers up 16-7 on the Packers as we get ready to get back going here. Alan Duggar. Don't cheer, producer. You're also an Eagles fan, so you're fake. Alan Duggar and Daniel Best are going to roll off 1 and 2 as Nate Pollard and Colt Huff roll off 3rd and 4th. I think the Giants are going to find a way to lose more games this season than we've had cautions this race as we get ready to restart for the 24th time tonight. It's another great jump for Alan Duggar for about the 24th time tonight. He's going to hold the lead down into turn 1.
Pretty accurate count, to be honest, the amount of times he's been able to pull that one off. Best and Pollard still in this. Best not that slow on the outside.
No, Pollard is working it though on the bottom as he tries to get this move done and get this spot away. Nate Pollard right back in this, started on that inside, taking advantage. He'll get clear for P2 down the back straightaway. Your 16 car is up a spot, and now Hugh Brown wants to involve himself in this battle. Colt Huff is backwards, and Freeman is backwards for fun.
I think someone wanted to get themselves involved in the wrecking.
I mean, it's not good. I think Freeman, he's kind of lost hope of getting the lucky dog because we've had so many cars go a lap down. He did make a valiant effort. He did get 10 laps back, but unfortunately, he still needs 7 more.
Looking at the way Colt Huff's car spins, I wonder if this is a downshift. Not really. Downshift's the 3rd in the corner, but like you do that.
It's just a very late entry, I feel like, for Colt Huff. Like the car in front of him, Hugh Brown, is on the bottom, and Colt Huff is still above the white pavement. Like he's still all the way up there. You'll see him here. He's just trying to take way too much into this corner, and I think that's what ultimately causes him to loop it.
Now I'm starting to develop a theory. I'm here because the other commentator claims that they couldn't be here. I'm wondering if we just didn't want to be.
The world may never know. The world may never know.
Worth noting that Danny Carpenter is approaching his 2nd hour in the pit box. So look out for that. That'll be a record worth breaking. What's the pit count, Sky?
Well, I'll have to do some addition here to figure that one out, but we're at, let's see, 24, 38, 50, 62, 71, 84, 102, 111.
You said
we'll go 115 on the pit count here so far tonight.
Someone pay those jackmen overtime. Like,
we might have overtime here with the amount of cautions we've had. You get a green-white checkered attempt in this series, so I mean it is
don't say that.
entirely possible that we get some green-white checkered action here to decide who makes the championship 4.
I need you to not say that.
I'm excited. I'm having a great time. Are you not having a great time, Howie? I'm having a great time. I am. That is a you problem. Maybe stop being British. I'm having a great time. Yeah, drink some tea, eat some crumpets, and get back at it. We still got 65 more to go right now. It's going to be Duggar and Pollard on the front row. Pollard is on that outside lane. We'll see if he can get a better jump than last time where he had that outside lane, got a horrific jump, and dropped back to 4th. He'll look to do a little bit better here on that high side. As we come out of turn 4, Duggar is going to get another jump in the restart zone, and not as bad for Pollard, but he's still got best up the inside of him.
Big checkups, multiple layers down, huge Constantine. Surprised no one got turned around and we went yellow again, to be honest.
So we got tight battles going on back here. Colt Huff is trying to dive into the inside of Hugh Brown. That's for P4. He's going to make a little bit of contact with the bumper of Nate Pollard, who now sits P3, losing that spot in 2nd to the 5 of Daniel Best, who is really trying to lock himself into this championship 4. Single file now here for the top 5, but I don't know how long that'll hold as these drivers have been aggressive here. And oh yeah, there you go. 5 car loses it. Daniel Best is going to drop 1 spot, maybe 2, as the 16 of Pollard is around him, and now Colt Huff is going to try to work him as well. Although Pollard couldn't get down to the bottom, he overshot the corner a little bit, and that's going to give the 5 a chance to get right back at it here. He's down on the inside for P2. A little bit of a shot there from Hugh Brown to maybe give him some extra momentum as Daniel Best continues to go door to door with Nate Pollard. Side by side for 2nd, side by side for 4th down here. And it looks like Daniel Best is going to be the one who ultimately prevails for this spot.
This has been the good racing you can have at Martinsville. Oh, it's getting tight and it's getting scary. Pollard's going to have to back out.
Oh, there goes Best.
No.
Spins out the 35. No caution is going to come out, though, because everybody keeps it straight. But that's going to shake up the running order quite a bit. Nate Pollard gets up to P2, but there's a big gap from him to Duggar now, as Colt Huff goes to 3rd, Best to 4th, and Hugh Brown, your big loser, falls back to 6th on that.
Excellent work with the saves all the way down the field. I really thought that was going to end in disaster, but you're right, this is not a gap Pollard's ever going to make up unless we go yellow again. Sorry, I have to say the commentator's curse words there. And which is likely to happen, to be honest. But also, eventually, like there will be a caution that will be the last caution. If you ever considered that, there will be a last caution. You just don't know when it is.
Wow. Well, Nate Pollard is going to hope that we have not had the last caution yet. Nate Pollard is going to hope that we get a couple more so that he's able to close that gap to Duggar. It's a 2-second gap. Pollard in short bursts has the speed to contend with Duggar, but he's got about 60 laps to go, and it's 2 seconds, and I don't know if he has that kind of sustained speed to get it. He is about half a tenth faster this time. He will need to keep that up if he wants any shot of getting that 15 cars. Colt Huff is starting to close in behind him.
Pollard is actually running faster than Duggar, but if I was Duggar, I wouldn't be running at 100% because I just want to. I've got such a barrier that I don't really need to push too hard, and it's the drivers that are pushing really hard that are spinning out the turns and having a bad day. He was not spun out of a single corner in 270 laps. His name's Alan Duggar right now.
He might be the only one.
Still 0x.
I would say, judging by the amount of cautions, he might be the only car that hasn't spun out today. It's been a great race for him. Even Nate Pollard, who sits running in P2 right now, we've seen him spin out a couple times tonight. So it has really been treacherous out here all night long. And Nate Pollard is a great example of that. Colt Huff has been around a couple times. Daniel Best, I mean, he's had at 28 incident points in about the first third of this race. He's recovered. He's running 4th right now. Anything can happen And we've still got 50 more laps to decide it here at Martinsville.
Well, he's got him pretty strung out by now, but the stringing out is rarely inevitable because a lot of people can do it to themselves. Drivers are laps down now. No one's going to be able to do a lucky dog in 1 because Switch is 2 down. And Larka, I think it was Freeman who was once 14 down and halved it.
He was 17 down, I believe, at one point, and has just, yeah, gotten down to 7 down. So he's going to take 8th, it looks like, barring any further accidents today, and have a good result. Nate Pollard is closing. That gap was 2 seconds to Alan Duggar. It's down to 1.5 seconds. But of these 3 cars, the fastest one is the 08 of Colt Huff, who's going to give a shove to Nate Pollard into that corner. He's getting aggressive here for this second position. The 08 wants to get up through the field, and he is giving some shots to the back of the 16 as he tries to find his way around.
Every point counts, every point matters. I think Huff's going to make this Pollard's problem, and you don't just have to touch an X-Gen in order to get it out of sorts in a corner, but he's got a huge run. He's giving him shots down the straight. That's going to push him wide. That's a proper Martinsville bump and run executed there by Colt Huff for P2.
Yeah, and we'll see, he was faster than Nate Pollard when he was behind Pollard, so we'll see if he's able to keep that speed up in his pursuit of Alan Duggar, or if he's just going to kind of sit here and struggle right now in P2. Duggar was faster that time, but it was because there was some passing going on the racetrack, so the 15 was able to stay ahead of everybody else. He is going to need to run some better laps here over these next 50 if he does want to hold Colt Huff off. Check the lap times at the line. It is Duggar by almost nothing. They were almost dead even at the line. Nate Pollard was 0.3 slower.
I mean, I guess that's why Colt Huff wanted to move someone to get on by, because his pace is unimaginable right now. Everybody's still on a similar tyre stim. Some may have used it more than others. Obviously, if you've been burning up the tyres and spinning, that's going to wreck your stuff. So that might be an impact, or it could just be the unimaginable sin of the long-run endurance around it. Everybody's tired. If we're tired, imagine the people that are driving the cars right now. They see the finish line in sight. They're so tired. They want this done. And so I'm amazed at the discipline we've actually seen and some of the good moves we start to see near the end. But it has been a long road to get here.
I think Alan Duggar wanted this done about 180 laps ago, I can't lie to you. He has been the dominant force in this race basically all night, and he just hasn't been able to actually get a lead and get away because we've had so many cautions that he's just constantly in view of everybody else. This is a long green flag run. We're coming up on the longest green flag run we've had all night here, and with some of those incidents further up in the field, Duggar got that 2-second gap and has just not relinquished it as he continues to hold it up there. Much faster lap than Colt Huff that last time around, got a 1/10.5.
Now with gaps approaching a second though, Pollard would quite like to get revenge, quite like to deliver that, but he's going to get up close and there's that's going to be how that's done. It's the psychic force of revenge. Colt Huff loses it.
Yep, Colt Huff around in the front straightaway, and with 42 to go, we are on caution number 24, I think? 25. We had 20 in the spring race here. I was literally thinking, through psychic force, dang, I missed lap 267.
Oh no.
Like we're 4-1 laps to the end of this race.
Well, that's on you mean. Maconi Entertainment brings you 4-1. Alan Duggar hits pit road.
Yeah, Alan Duggar does. Nate Pollard does too. I think we're going to see about everybody come down here for some tires for the final 4D laps of this race, and that is a pretty rough hit there for Colt Huff. Did Pollard get into him there? Let's see this. We'll go on board with them. We will go on board and we'll see what the situation is with these two cars. He loops it here. Colt Huff goes around and get the slow-mo for you. Oh yeah. That's some contact to the left front or the right front of Pollard that could really come back to hurt him. You can see the gap in that right front. He does not have time to get that fixed. That is going to hurt the way his car drives here straight through to the end of this one.
And interestingly, Why is Nate Pollard out ahead of Alan Duggar? Are we trying fewer tyres again to secure the win and you're in at the end of this race? I think that's
that we are. Oh, it was 2 tires for Pollard and Best, who are out 1 and 2. Duggar goes from 3rd.
I mean, Pollard almost lost his entire race last time he did this, but time's now running out and he just needs to be good enough to secure this playoff spot. It would really be quite the emotional journey. Well, we've been on the emotional journey, but that would be the emotional payoff for it to be something that isn't Alan Duggar dominating it flag to flag. As extraordinary as that would be, this is a story and this has implications.
Mm-hmm. We will see if the win and you're in applies here. I don't know if it does. We'll find out, quite honestly. I don't have a rule book. I cannot find a copy of the rule book. I have been looking. So we will we'll have to see how that ends up playing out here, if you get the win and you're into the next round, or if Pollard is still going to maybe need to rely on some misfortune for Daniel Best towards the end of this. We're getting ready to go back green here.
Outside for Pollard.
Yeah, he's going to choose the outside. We'll see if he can get a better jump here on that high line, given that he is the control car. 38 to go. And he is going to get a great jump there. Goes right as he enters the restart zone and puts about 0.3 of a second on the 5 of Daniel Best.
2 tires versus 4. 2 should be faster for track position, but
here comes Daniel Best for the lead. Oh. Daniel Best doors Nate Pollard for the lead of the race. And we're wrecking behind him. Hugh Brown is around. But at the moment of caution, well, we're not under caution. We're still green. Now we're under caution.
That caution graphic came about when our producer expected a call. What are we doing?
Who just Freeman. Yeah, Hugh Brown just, I mean, there he goes. There he wrecks. And then, oh, that was after. I have no idea what's going on. That was live for Hugh Brown, and Hugh Brown is going to get DQ'd for whatever just happened there. He's going to wreck with the 08 of Cold Huff. This is, yeah, this is a moment between these two. I think they just kind of got tangled into 3. And then Hugh Brown is going to try to hit the U. He's going to hit Cold Huff. He is then going to hit Cold Huff again, just for vibes. And then he is going to kill Thomas Freeman.
I mean, the DQ
as you see right here.
DQ came too late to fix this. No, wait for what happens next. He's about to get DQ'd for something else.
Yeah, I saw the second part of this, which was Hugh Brown. I think he attempted a Matt Kenseth on Colt Huff and just missed completely. Yeah. That was, you know when you're trying to throw in the strike zone and you hit the catcher in the nuts? That was about what Hugh Brown did right there.
I don't think it changes his position all too much getting removed.
He was, yeah.
That man, his engine was wrecked, but that man is not allowed to touch this track again.
He was trying to hit the strike zone on Colt Huff, and he nailed the umpire in the head.
He just said something rude to me in the race chat about it.
Yeah. We'll keep it rolling. 33 to go here at Martinsville. It is Daniel Best up front. It is Alan Duggar in second. It is Nate Pollard in third. And we will fight for the finish of this race here. I'm kind of shocked. Well, yeah, oh, they gave Nate Pollard third because the caution came out so late. Nate Pollard was in second, but by the time the caution came out, they're way delayed. It had been Duggar who had managed to get up to the inside of him. So that is going to send Pollard back to third. It'll be Duggar and Best on the front row, and we are at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars on the lead lap here tonight, as Colt Huff is 3 laps down with all the damage he sustained in that incident, which was a lot, is probably the simplest way to describe it. We're going to get back underway here. It is the 5 of Daniel Best on the inside. It's the 15 of Alan Duggar on the outside. Is this the run to the finish? Let's see. 35 to go at Martinsville. We've got 6 cars in the field, and we're back green.
Still no incident DQs, by the way. Nate Pollard now sitting on 30, closest to it, but we're really running out of time to actually have that.
Here comes Alan Duggar. He is in hot pursuit of Daniel Best as he wants to win this race to back up the amount of laps he's led tonight. But Alan Duggar, perennial. Oh, well, he's not going to be a second place finisher right now because Daniel Best locks it up into the corner. And Duggar gets through and Pollard gets through for P2. Let's see what he can do.
Are we so Pollard back?
We might be. I mean, he's going to need some amazing runs here as the 5 of Daniel Best is giving him the business down here in 1 and 2. All over the rear bumper of that car, and he is going to go for a side slider, and he's going to have to back it out there. Ultimately, he doesn't get anything out of it. I think I was trying to say dive and slide at the same time, and I said sive. Either way, Best sits third. He's going to need to invent a new maneuver maybe to get himself back up to the lead here because he is not exactly at the pace he needs to be to find a way back up to Duggar.
Do you remember when Joshua Switzer was on the lead lap? He is now. That's how much madness we've had to achieve. He has had wave arounds, he's not stopped, so he's going to have to stop again quite soon and could lose it again. But he's holding up third.
We've got about 6 cars in this race right now, and one of them is 10 laps down. So I think Switzer is guaranteed to get a top 5 out of tonight as well. So that is going to end up being a pretty good result, ultimately, when it's all said and done for the driver of that 6 car, as right now it's looking like Daniel Best is going to claim that final spot to sneak his way into the next round of the playoffs. Switzer was the last car eliminated last round, so he's just out here kind of for vibes, kind of for some fun as he runs in 4th, and it was just a pass made for position. William Lark has passed Colt Huff, who is meatballed in the pits. P6 for William Lark, 10 laps down.
Fly high, just don't die on the track. If Colt Huff could get that car out, he passes Hugh Brown for P7.
We will, I think he's already ahead of Hugh Brown because Hugh Brown's been DQ'd, so he's got P7
DQ sends you
pretty
to the
locked
back
up
of your
there.
lap. DQ sends you to the back of the lap.
My ticker is showing Colt Huff is 1 lap ahead of Hugh Brown right now, so we will get the we'll get the official reward on that when this race ends. Nate Pollard is trying to reel in Alan Duggar, by the way. Daniel Best has completely lost track of this group, and Nate Pollard is about 0.3 of a second back. He was a little bit quicker last time around. He was a little bit quicker this time around. In fact, he was a whole 10th quicker this time around. Nate Pollard, when he needs it the most, is here.
Get him very close, and if there's any time you want to give someone a shot, number 1, someone's showing him how to do it. It's been a pretty fair Martinsville way without wrecking him. And number 2, now is the time you do it to win the race here at Martinsville. Desperately, desperately running out of time.
Yeah, we're running out of laps for real here. 20 to go in this race. It's been a long one in terms of laps. It's been a long one with all the cautions. Feels like an enduro here for these drivers, but they've made it through, and the end is in sight for Nate Pollard. And the finish line is going to be in sight for him here if he can just sneak his way around Alan Duggar. As we're under 20 laps to go, he is all over that 15 car, and Duggar is loose out of the corner. That might be the first mistake we've seen him make all night, and Nate Pollard is going to pounce. He's on the outside in turn 2. He wants the lead of this race. He wants the win of this race. He wants to get into the championship 4 at Homestead. Nate Pollard continues to work on the outside, but Duggar just has the advantage down there on the bottom. And Alan Duggar is going to be clear again. Nate Pollard needs to re-rack and find another chance.
I'm amazed he couldn't get that on exit. He's going to be ruined the day. He gets close, shot to Duggar's car. It's not going to do much, but that's the mentality now. We're going to see more and more and more contact.
It's going to be all out for Nate Pollard. If he finishes second, if he finishes seventh, it doesn't matter. It only matters if he comes out and he grabs his first win of the season to get himself into the championship 4. Big shot delivered to Alan Duggar through turns 3 and 4, but he's not able to pounce. Can he get the inside here? No. Duggar is able to get back down, and as we come up on 15 to go, Nate Pollard is doing everything he can to find his way around this 15 car.
Keep going and going and going. Where we stop, nobody knows. I want to play the Baby Park theme in the background right now, Christian. You want to quickly get that one loaded up. But we are going to have an epic grandstand finish. 5 minutes of running is going to fly by in an instant, but Nate needs to do something, and he's tried contact a few times, and it's not been good enough. Do a contact too egregious, and stewards might have a talk to you afterwards about it. It's difficult to find that balance.
And I think if Nate Pollard is going to err on the side of attack here, caution is going to be thrown to the wind in the last 15 laps of this race. He knows what he needs. He knows how close he is to getting it. This is his big chance to find himself on the top step of the podium. He's spun it multiple times tonight. He's been in the wall. He's been into other cars. He's racked up 30 incident points, but none of that matters right now. All that matters is Nate Pollard getting around Duggar for the win of this race. And I think you're getting to the point with a 35x incident point penalty. He maybe can't push it as hard as he would like, because if he sends Duggar around, he's going to get close to getting that penalty.
I think maybe he gets away with it, and I don't think, and if you're not listening to the stream right now as a driver, you don't know the risk others are in either. We'll link him the sensitive information, but he has hit the 30 mark, Nate, so you're right, he ends up in a vulnerable place, and you do not want to get sent straight to the back like that. But Pollard's his pace has been dying up. He's just not been delivering the shot. 11 to go.
Ooh, it's going down. He's going to give him a big shot right there, but he's going to get loose. And Nate Pollard is going to lose a lot of time on contact with Alan Duggar right there. I want to know if he got a 4X, because he might have. That could put him in major danger here for the end of the race.
No fault.
Not only that, but because he has lost about half a second there. He lost 1.5 seconds there on Duggar. And that might be what gives Alan Duggar the lead. Did you say he's at 34?
No 4X, but that
no 4X, okay.
And
yeah, I think he's going to need another caution.
So many drivers to do it now, and they're all driving alone, and they're all desperately hoping to not cause a green-white checker. Joshua Switzer's in the wall. We're green.
Nate Pollard is on the radio yelling, "Do that again, do that again." One more of those. Switzer, you spun it 6 times tonight. You can spin it again for me.
Really gonna need it. The gaps have died now.
And we're running out of time here to get that yellow that Pollard, well, he's actually reeling him back in. Duggar ran a bad lap, got him out of the groove. 2 bad laps for Duggar. 19.5, 19.4. Pollard ran a 19.1, although he's going to kind of whiff turn 1 there and go a little high, and that will cost him what he gained. He needs to be consistent here. He can catch Duggar, maybe, if he has a couple more mistakes, but more above all else, Pollard needs to be consistent, and that was not a good lap for him. That is not consistent enough with 6 to go.
I mean, you need to be not just consistent, but superstar in the next few laps, and you need Duggar to do something he hasn't done all race and send that car pointing backwards. Not counting on it. What a race from Alan Duggar. There has been strife and pain and trauma, and we're just talking in here and not even on the track. Duggar's going to come home 0x unchallenged on pace.
Nate Pollard, 4 to go. I don't know if it's enough, but he's gaining. He gained 0.2 of a second that last time. He's 0.8 of a second back. He's going to need a lot, but he's going to get another good corner there. I'm not going to say this is over yet, because Nate Pollard is actually rapidly gaining on Alan Duggar. He's inside half a second now. He's there. He is there.
But how hard is he going to have to go in order to actually get the pass done? It's one thing to get this close to someone, it's another thing to actually get around them at Martinsville. Is there a rule against riding the wall?
He might have to do that at this point, quite honestly. Half a second now. It was a faster lap for Duggar. He had a great lap time, and now with 2 to go, Nate Pollard is going to need to do everything he can. He needs 2 more hero laps if he wants any shot at the 15 of Alan Duggar, and he is giving it absolutely everything. But the gap at the line is going to be 4.5 tenths, and that might be enough for Alan Duggar to grab his 5th win of the season. Nate Pollard doesn't want to let it go. He needs 1 spot to make the championship 4. What's he going to do? It's a big lunge, but he's just not close enough. Out of turn 4, Alan Duggar wins at Martinsville.
It's not just about being the winner today. I think it's about being the survivor.
Yeah, 0x win at Martinsville. Dominant performance for Alan Duggar. And Nate Pollard is going to go home. He will not be racing for a championship next week at Phoenix.
Some respect between the top 2 on the chat after the race, saying, good race, man, because that was a very good race between the 2 of them. And there were excellent moments in this very, very, very long day that I'm going to remember for every reason. There were some excellent, excellent battles and moments that really do define what Martinsville is. I mean, we saw the blood pressure rise of someone and saw them go full throttle under caution. That's what the blood pressure of Martinsville does to someone. It breaks you.
We'll see if Hugh Brown maybe faces repercussions for that, because he is in the championship 4. So if he does face repercussions for that, it will be bad. But here's what I'm thinking. Here's your top 4 at the end of that race. It's Alan Duggar, it's Hugh Brown, it's Daniel Besson, and Trevor Baxter. But as we know, Trevor Baxter, he's busy, he can't show up, he's out for the season. He's not running the rest of the races. So I think Nate Pollard's best chance at getting into the final round right now is going to be going to the admins and absolutely getting down on his knees and begging them to put him in the final round over Baxter. Although, look, we were going to need a points update here, because I think there's a half-decent chance William Lark might have got that 5th spot instead, because he brought it home 6th. We'll go to a quick commercial break, and then we will check on that point standings for you, and we'll get interviews with the top 3. Stay tuned.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need: Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
We are back from Martinsville, and before we get your top 3 in, we are going to do a quick rundown of your finishing order here tonight. Your race winner was Alan Duggar in the 15. Nate Pollard brought it home second. Daniel Best, Stephen Bird, Josh Switzer, William Lark, Huff Freeman, Michael Reeves, James Nesta, Danny Carpenter, Hugh Brown. Round out your field. Hey, Howie, how you doing? Your 13th honorary finisher tonight. Go! I'm looking at the points. In your championship 4, it is Alan Duggar, Trevor Baxter, Hugh Brown, and Daniel Best. And that 5th spot by 1 point because of the incident with Huff and Freeman is going to go to William Lark over Nate Pollard, Stephen Bird, Danny Carpenter, who are all eliminated. We'll see if the admins want to run a 3-car Final 4 or if they add William Larkin for the last race. But that is going to be how this all shakes out for the end of our season here in the Door to Door Racing League next week at Phoenix. As we are going to call our top finishers into the booth here, and we're going to start with our winner tonight, the 15-car of Alan Duggar. Alan, how you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. How are y'all?
Pretty good, pretty good. So, 5th win of the season. You're locked into the championship race next week at Phoenix. How's it feel?
Feels pretty good. I'm ready.
Is it a little more difficult for you when you've got a race like this where it's just stop and start and stop and start? You can't ever really get away?
Yeah, it's kind of difficult. That's why I tried not to get comfortable for that reason. I mean, all week it's been like this, and so I tried not to get too comfortable because I knew we wasn't gonna get the long green flag run that I was really wanting.
What's your strategy going to be to approach Phoenix next week?
Win it.
There you go. There you go. And then last question here. What was it like racing with Pollard there at the end? Because he was giving you a couple good shots trying to find his way in.
Oh, dude, that was a lot of fun. I was expecting a bumper when he got to me, and all I could do was try to hold on to it and try to stay in front of him. It was a lot of fun, though.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
I want to thank Ken Byron over at Ryco, Flying Change Farms, Ceylon Motorsports, Boris Bar Ranch, y'all doing the broadcast, 1-5 Studios, and that's it.
All right, congrats on the win tonight, Alan Duggar.
Thank you, sir.
And Howie is going to be standing by with our 2nd place finisher tonight, the 16 and Nate Pollard.
Nate Pollard up and down the track, seemingly somewhere, everywhere, at every point. You definitely could have had fun on that track.
Yeah, I end up liking. I don't know. I've never really liked short tracks before. I took a break and then I came back and now I'm much better at short tracks.
Not too sure about your position in the championship. We think you won't make it, but of course there's a driver that isn't going to show, and you might be able to beg on your knees to get his spot off him. But how has your season been, whether you get it or not?
I think it's been a pretty good season. It's been fun. Definitely had some chances to try to win a couple races. And wish just didn't fall my way. And I'm just happy with a good end of the season.
Well, how is Phoenix gonna treat you, do you think, out there?
I don't know. Didn't do so well earlier this year, but Phoenix it's another short track, so hopefully short track things fall my way.
And any other thank yous or shout outs?
Yeah, I want to thank you guys, and I want to thank our sponsor, Kinetic Esports Gaming, and then yeah, all my friends and stuff, friends and family.
Your journey was an absolute joy today. One of the joys in a very, very, very long race. So good result, and hope to see you again next week.
Yep, thank you guys.
That will leave us. I can't move people, so someone will deal with that. That will leave us with our third place finisher with Sky, Daniel Best.
Now we'll pull Daniel Best up into the booth here, driver of the 5 car. Daniel Best, how you doing?
Oh, I'm great, buddy. How are you?
Pretty good. Third place in a race tonight where you were basically everywhere at every point. How's it feel?
Man, I just we started the race and I felt like I was going to be okay, and then it's like every accident I got a 4X. We had a 35X cap, and I'm running around with 28X, and just decided to get my damage fixed and hang out in the back until it was time to go, and it didn't work out. I had to lead and gave it away.
Hey, you were racing really good with those guys for a while. What was it like battling with Pollard and Duggar up there for the win?
It was fun, man. It just I couldn't believe how fast Nate was tonight, and Alan was just good all day. So I had a lot of fun getting up there and actually racing with them.
All right, well, you've made the Final Four here for next week at Phoenix. What's your strategy to get the championship?
Win. That's all I can do.
Hey.
I mean, you're going to have to beat Alan.
Yeah, I was going to say, Alan, I asked Alan the same question, and he gave me the exact same answer. So you two are going to have some fun next week.
Yep. I mean, it's all you can do is try to beat Alan and stay in front. Because whoever wins the race is going to win the championship, I believe. It's going to be Alan or me is the way I'm looking at it.
All right, anyone you have to thank tonight?
Just door to door, man, putting on good races, and you guys for broadcasting it.
All right, congrats on P3 tonight, Daniel Best.
Appreciate it.
And that'll be the end of our coverage from here in the Door to Door Racing League at Martinsville. But next week, we have our season finale at Phoenix. Howie, Phoenix, how about it?
Very strange place to host a finale. It's very, very sort of, in the real world, it's very dependent on your car and dependent on your setup.
Whoa! Sorry, I've just gotten a bomb from the admins here in my DMs, and we're gonna have to correct some info. I don't know if this was something that has been relayed to the admins but was not relayed to us, but I am being told Hugh Brown is not in the Final Four. It is gonna be, are you ready for this? Alan Duggar, Daniel Best, William Lark, and Nate Pollard.
With Nate Pollard back. Whatever that means.
So we are gonna, Trevor Baxter, we knew he wasn't racing, so they're gonna take him out of the championship 4 because, well, he's not gonna be there, and it's not fair to put him in. And then I guess Hugh Brown maybe in a similar situation where he's not gonna be there for Phoenix, and so they're gonna give everybody a spot. They're gonna give 4 drivers who will be there a chance to race it out. So next week, Duggar, Daniel Best, William Lark, and Nate Pollard for the championship of the Door to Door Racing League. And Pollard's good finish tonight is going to end up paying off. So, Howie, how about Phoenix?
I think you have a favorite. So I think we settled that one. You've got one you'd like to see win. As I said, like, it's a hard track to pass on, but it is an unusual one, obviously, just owing to all of the crazy stuff they decide to add to it over the years. You start up well, you should have a good race if you stay out of trouble, but it could inspire incidents on the level we've seen today.
We'll have to see how it plays out next week for our season finale in Door to Door Racing League at Phoenix. Same time, same place on Maconi Entertainment. Make sure to like and subscribe and turn notifications on if you want to see the final of this series. For myself and Howie Burrows and Christian Hill up here in the booth, I'm Scott Schreck. Thank you so much for watching and have a great night.
When you want to be the best, you can't settle for the rest. For anything on iRacing, there's just one name you need, Maconi.
With the launch of Maconi Entertainment and Maconi Competizone alongside Maconi Setup Shop, we now provide the best of the best in setups, paint schemes, coaching, broadcasting, and event organization.
With cars across all 4 license classes, we have what you need to hit the track with confidence. Grab a subscription and save money while going fast at MaconiSetupShop.com/subscriptions.
And remember, at Maconi Setup Shop, there are setups, but your victories.